National Signing Day. I mean, it's kind of like, it's lost its touch a little bit from what it was years past with the 2 signing days and with name, image, likeness and the transfer portal, but it still is kind of like Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, your birthday, as Jim Harbaugh, I think, once said about something, all wrapped up into one, and that is why we are live here today, our Michigan Football Report Signing Day special. We got a massive jam-packed show for you here on a Wednesday afternoon. We are just a few seconds, about 1 minute after 1 o'clock in the East Coast, 12 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. And, Jack, do you know we are 12 days away from Michigan, Alabama coming up on the 1st of January, the first day of 2024. But even though we're early in the day, we still have some news that is breaking here in the morning. We teased it yesterday. We told you this is where things were going, but Michigan did, in fact, get another 4-star commit, a top 250 player, Lugard Edokpayi. Is that how we pronounce it, Jack? Lugard Edokpayi. I should have figured that. I did the pronunciation guide and all that different stuff. Lugard Edokpayi. We're going to call him that, Edokpayi. He has committed to Michigan. Had narrowed his list to a handful of small Big Ten schools, or not small Big Ten schools, lesser competitive Big Ten schools. They're still big schools in the general sense. Maryland, Minnesota, and Rutgers. A month and a half ago, it seemed like Florida State, maybe Texas A&M might get his services. He has rocketed up the rankings over the past 6 to 12 months. Kind of coming out of his sophomore into his junior year, he wasn't anywhere near the top 200, top 150, like a couple services have him. And overall, he is the number 220 overall recruit in the composite, kind of breaking down the ESPN rivals 24/7. I don't know if On3 Sports is included in that or if they just have their own at this point. But number 220 player overall in this Michigan football class, which would make him the 6th highest rated recruit here for Michigan. So let's take a look at Michigan's 2024 signing class. Jordan Marshall, the running back from the state of Ohio. I'd argue the running back of the future for Michigan, whether it's in 2024, like we've seen in the past, Mike Hart and other guys, or if he needs a year to get his feet wet like Blake Corum did in 2020 and then burst onto the scene a year later like Corum did in 2021, 22, and of course in 2023. So maybe Jordan Marshall is maybe Michigan's featured back or one of 2 featured backs in 2025. Jadyn Davis, likely the quarterback of the future. He might get some competition in the future himself with 2025 the 5-star quarterback that Michigan's at. Everyone knows who I'm talking about in Bryce Underwood, or a potential transfer portal guy if Michigan decides to go the transfer portal route this offseason. But as of now, that's still a little uncertain based on what J.J. McCarthy does. Andrew Sprague, the offensive lineman, just an absolute mauler. I think he's somebody who has a chance to be in the 2 deep, if not start by mid to late season next year. And then you got Brady Prieskorn, the tight end, number 124 player overall in this 2024 Michigan football recruiting class. Let's keep it rolling, though. Blake Frazier is number 5 in the rankings on Michigan's top guys. Interesting prospect. Michigan snagged him back in April out of Austin, Texas. He's 6'5", 260. Probably slates to be a guard, just unless he puts on some meat, but we'll see how his career shakes out. Jacob Oden, Harper Woods, Michigan. He's an athlete. I mean, he could play secondary. He could play cornerback, safety. Maybe he's the future Mike Sanderstall. Maybe over on the offensive side of the ball, 6'1", 188, number 280 player overall. Jaden Smith. Really like what I see at him. Also listed as an athlete. I think he could beef up to be a linebacker. He's already 6'3", 201, maybe even a defensive end, a little David Ojabo style in the future out of Charlotte, North Carolina, committed back in June. Continuing on to the top players in this Michigan football recruiting class. Okay, so right here after Blake Frazier, that's where, of course, Michigan's commitment of this morning would slide, but as he is not we put these rankings together before he committed, so he would kind of slide right there after Blake Frazier before Jacob Oden. So we'll keep rolling here with Michigan's recruiting class here on the Michigan Football Report. Before we do, if you guys are excited about this Michigan recruiting class, I know it's not a top 5 class. I understand that we thought this might be the number 1, 2, 3 top 5 class back in April, May, June even. It didn't happen. With all the off-field stuff for Michigan, it just didn't happen. I'm not sure if it was NIL, if it was Harbaugh NFL rumors, if it was the drama on off-the-field recruiting stuff that started a year ago, really around this time, early January or so, and then the Connor Stalions saga, which has been ongoing for 2+ months. Either way you shake it, Michigan has a top 20 class, and the team that just won 3 straight back-to-back Big Ten championships, they were not all top 5 classes by any means, okay? So don't be too bummed out that Michigan's got the 16th ranked class as of now. Give me a like on this video as we are live here on the Michigan Football Report Signing Day Special. How many likes we got here, Jack, so far? 26 likes. So thanks so much to everyone who has liked this video already. As we keep rolling through our Michigan recruiting class, top players in this group. All right. So our Myron Stewart, he committed last summer. He committed, I think it was on Instagram Live from a competitor, but nevertheless, I like what I see out of him. He should be a player who has the opportunity to see the field this next upcoming year, right? Why wouldn't he? Out of Chicago, maybe it's the J.J. McCarthy connection there, Tyler Morris connection, 5'10", 180. I mean, it's tough to say who he reminds me of, given that he is not super tall or anything like that, but he's somebody I think could be on the field early on. Mason Curtis, all right, out of Tennessee, listed as an athlete, 6'4", 200 pounds, number 304 player in the country, committed in June of 2022. I think it was the first, if not one of the first, commits in this class. Cole Sullivan, linebacker, out of Pittsburgh, 6'3", 200, the number 316 player, number 24 linebacker in the class. And then, how about this name? Josiah Edmond, love him, cornerback out of Indiana Northwood High School. He's coming in at 6'1", 180, a position really Michigan hasn't recruited that great outside of Will Johnson over the past few years. Though before we tell you more about Michigan's recruiting class, I got to tell you about our sponsor of our National Signing Day special, and that is Manscaped. You might get this gift late, but it is still time to get the gift of Manscaped for the people in your life this holiday season. Take care of the fellas in your life with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra and watch your South Pole shine like never before, or watch their South Pole shine like never before if you're getting it for the guy that you get busy with in the bedroom. It's a great stocking stuffer. May have to put it in the stocking after Christmas at this point, but the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is part of the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, which includes loads of stuff that make great gifts for the holiday season or right after. You can get 20% off and free shipping with code BLUE at manscaped.com. Yes, that's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. You got to use that promo code GOBLUE to get a well-groomed mistletoe at Manscaped. Let's put that for the people, Jack. I'll grab it. Make sure we put that. Okay, we got it in the live chat. Link for that is in the live chat. So if you see that down there in the live chat, give it a click. Support Manscaped, support the show, and support yourself. You never want to be getting busy with a lady or guy in your life. I mean, hell, my wife uses Manscaped, Jack, or you wouldn't believe it, but she does. There's all kinds of things for there. So that is Manscaped. They're our presenting sponsor, and we will get back to the recruiting class in a moment. Jack, what do we got on screen here? Let's talk about this a little bit. We've got a duck race. Is this the people that we're rolling with here? Is this the 15?
These are the people from last week. Yeah.
Okay, so these are the 15 people who sent in a super chat on our last live show, which was on, I think it was on December 3rd, right? Is that right? Or was that okay? Cool. So it was the day after the Michigan beating Iowa in the Big Ten championship. So we're gonna do a duck race. This is a snowman race, right? A snowman race of those 15 people, and do a Manscaped giveaway. What's the first item we got up for, people, Jack?
We got a Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. And I'll tell you, I got one of those myself.
Got right here.
It gets the job done.
All right. So I am going to send whoever wins the duck race a Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra from our friends at Manscaped. It's over $100 value. It's going to be super awesome. Let's continue the class, Jack. We'll come back to this in a few moments, but I do want to prime everybody. Jack, if you could, maybe read the names of the people off really quick so everybody knows who's in this upcoming snowman race.
Yeah, we got Cody Monford, John Blaze, Cruiser for Show, Dominic Francillo, House of Lions, Some Guy, our guy Steve, Outdoor Montana, The Lost Angels, Roscoe Truman, Rich's Ware, Big D Retro, Tattoo Hick, Ted D, and Michael Cowley.
Nice. Got a big-time crew of superchargers there. We're going to give a Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra to them. A little later in the show, a Manscaped beard hedger as well. Trim up that beard. Do you think this is a mistake? Look at that. Look at that finely trimmed beard. That is from Manscaped. All right, Jack. Let's go and take a look at the recruiting rankings. This is where Michigan's class ranks as of right now in the different services. So the 24/7 Sports composite kind of ranks, I think, just as top three outside of or top four outside on 3. I don't think it's included yet. So Michigan's got the number 16 class, which is pretty consistent here, right? The composite says 16 because ESPN says Michigan 16. Rivals has the highest rated class at 12. On 3 themselves, newer guys on the block. They've been around for a couple years now. Recruit some good talent for analyzing recruits. Number 16 as Michigan's class, and then 24/7 themselves, their own rankings, not the composite, their own rankings, as Michigan at number 15. We'll keep rolling through this 2024 recruiting class. Give me a grade, though. Give me a grade for this class. I was going to go with a B-. I'm going to go with a solid B right now, given the commitment this morning. So I'm going to go with a solid B coming off the commitment of Lugard Edokpayi, the defensive lineman out of Maryland, right? Yeah, Maryland. So give me a grade in the live chat. You know what I don't have, Jack? I don't have my live chat up and pop, so I'm going to get that going. If you want to maybe talk to the people, shout out some grades really quick.
Yep. Ken Kenyon with a B. Where's Carl with a B? Christopher Lee with an A. John Pollock with a B. The Taxman. Oh, boy.
Oh, Taxman.
Says Bosa.
Bosa. All right. I think it's a B.
Yeah,
and an A.
It's a B.
And an A. Maybe it's a B and an A.
B and an A. Charles McMillan with a B. K-Money2KGG with a B+. This person just straight up has no name. Says B+. All of the kids are great. Kason Scott with an A. Mike K with a Beat Bama B+. Lil Wojo with an A. Storm with a B-. I kind of like the way that this class has been shaping up. There's a lot of good. There's a lot of good variety. So we'll see how they work out.
Keep those grades coming in. Jack, you know what we should do? If you can, I want to make sure that people all across the globe, I'll put it in the live chat really quick. I'm going to pin it to I'm going to retweet it from Chat Sports, but put my Twitter account up there if you can. Let's see if we can get a few people to retweet the show. So, we get the people rolling here. I'm going to retweet it from Chat Sports, the company account. I'm going to switch back to mine and pin that to my profile, and then I'll put it in the live chat as well. So give me just 1 second to do that, and we'll get going. So if anybody's on Twitter, help us spread the gospel of the show, and I will put the link to my tweet highlighting this show so people from Twitter can see that and spread the gospel themselves. So, Scott, I see you. What about Harbaugh? We'll talk about Harbaugh throughout this show. Rick Harford, my guy, Rick, a Hard Hat Club member, Bosa 2024. Appreciate that. If you guys could, give me a retweet or like, please, on that tweet. I'll ask a few times, but, it's pinned to my Twitter account if that's easier for you. It's just at James Yoder, so I'll put just the Twitter account right there a couple times. At James Yoder, my pinned tweet. Give me a like or a retweet. I'll give some shout-outs here in a few moments on anybody who does that. Jack, you going to retweet it, bro? What's going on? Okay, cool. Okay, you quote-tweeted it. Oh, you did do both. I'm sorry. All right, Mike from AA is at Buckeye Slayer 9, and Jack, the first people to retweet it. Josh Sherwood, who is at JCS Tweets 92, he gave it a like as well. First few people in there, I'll circle back to this, Jen Psaki style, circle back in a few moments, give some more shout-outs on all the people who were engaging in that tweet. So if you can, once again, give me a like or a retweet or reply on the pin tweet at James Yoder promoting this show here on YouTube. Let's go through Michigan's entire recruiting class. We covered a few of these guys, but I'll run through them. Ranked from top to bottom, highest rated recruit in the composite, all the way down to the bottom. I don't think anybody should be ranked all the way at the bottom, but hey, rankings are rankings. It's a meritocracy in this world, so it is what it is. Jordan Marshall, I think him and Jadyn Davis, could they be the next J.J. McCarthy and Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards? I know, obviously, Blake Corum was a class above Edwards and J.J. McCarthy, but nevertheless, like that running back quarterback combo for 2 or 3 seasons, Mike Hart, Chad Henne, that kind of come up together, lead Michigan to multiple Big Ten championships, multiple wins over Ohio State. I certainly think there's a chance, especially, of course, if Jim Harbaugh remains as Michigan coach. Andrew Sprague, Brady, I got to get his names there, Prieskorn as number 4 ranked player, and then Blake Frazier out of Austin, Texas. Keep it rolling. Lugard Edokpayi, we got it right almost. Jacob Oden out of Harper Woods, Michigan. Jaden Smith, like what I see out of Jaden Smith, his size, 6'3", 201, out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I like what I see from him. I think he'd be an early contributor on multiple sides of the ball, if not special teams. Hogan Hansen, tight end, out of Washington. Been committed to Michigan for a year now, right? Yeah, committed. I was looking, I thought it was January, but it was last December 8th, 2022. He's at number 295 player overall in this class. He's a 4-star. Imarian Stewart, committed this past summer, committed on Instagram Live for, I think, one of these high school recruiting services, etc. He is number 299 in the country, a little undersized, only 5'10", But hey, we saw Samaj Morgan, what kind of impact an undersized player can make. A.J. Henning in the past, Giles Jackson, right? These guys, Harbaugh has got him on the field early on, whether it's in screen passes, reverse, punch returns. Now we see with Samaj. I think Myron Stewart can get on the field early with that kind of contribution. Keep it rolling outside the top 10 players. Mason Curtis out of Tennessee. Linebacker, athlete, 6'4", 200. I mean, that's maybe a little oversized for linebacker height-wise, so we'll see if maybe he doesn't move up to a defensive end or an edge position. But he's somebody that's very highly ranked, number 304, 4-star. Continuing on, wrap it up. We got a couple more 4-stars here for Michigan. Cole Sullivan, linebacker, out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Josiah Edmond, love the name. He's one of my all-name team guys, the number 13th ranked recruit in this class. Devin Baxter, 350th player ranked in this class, out of Maryland himself. We've got him coming in at 6'6", 225. Pretty big. Now, when I see a bunch of players in one class, all 6'6", 6'7", 6'5", I always take that with a grain of salt. I usually kind of think they're more like 6'3". So if that's true, he'll probably stick at that edge position, be a pass rusher for Michigan in the future. But hell, if he's 6'6" and puts on some weight, I mean, he could just be a monster of a interior defensive lineman, although 6'6" is a little bit bigger than we typically see. Jeremiah Beasley out of Belleville. Can he pull his teammate, right? Can he pull Bryce Underwood from the 2025 class with him to Michigan? Their coach, who is a Michigan hater, is not there anymore. Has kind of got fired for breaking different rules a year ago. So Michigan doesn't have to face that with Belleville, but they are facing an onslaught of recruitments and NIL guarantees from other schools, LSU, Alabama, etc. for Underwood next year. Maybe Beasley, the teammate poll, could kick him over there. 6'1", 210. He has been committed since the summer, back in June 28th. Love the next player on the list, Luke Hamilton, Avon, Ohio. Now, he is a 4-star, number 395. Love what I see out of him. He's got some teammates who are committed to Ohio State. He committed to Michigan in the face of all the pressure when he lived in the state of Ohio to go there. I think he's going to be an early contributor. I kind of think, looking at his film, right? He's one of the last 4-stars. We got 2 more 4-stars in this list. Number 395 player in this list. His film looks like a top 200 player to me. I think by year 2 at Michigan, he is starting or in that top 5 or 6 guys, best lineman that he's kind of rotating in like we saw with Michigan this season. Ted Hammond out of St. Xavier in Cincinnati, Ohio, 6'5", 258, interior lineman. I don't know, reminds me a little bit of Mason Graham, number 411th player in the country, committed back in January. Owen Wolf, player probably I don't know that much about in this class. He's probably the one I've watched the least amount of film. Out of New Jersey, edge, 6'1", 290, number 425 in the class. That is the end there of the 4-stars. So 18 4-stars for Michigan in this class, which is a damn deep class. 27 players committed. And look, in this new era of college football, I don't know if anybody really knows this. One of the advantages of Michigan this year is there are like 100 guys, like 15 over the scholarship limit, scholarship players who came into Michigan or transferred to Michigan as scholarship players. But with name, image, and likeness, Michigan's been able to, NIL 15-plus scholarships over the last 2 seasons to continue to build that depth, not have to push guys out like we've seen in the past at Michigan and at other schools. Keep it rolling here. Jake Guarnera, I should say, out of Florida, interior defensive lineman, 6'4", 290, another absolute beast. I mean, Michigan's got 4 guys in the field right now this year, over 310 pounds, right? I think 3 of them over 330 pounds, getting some backfilling of that talent in this recruiting class. And then how about Micah Kapana? I don't understand his ranking, right? Number 500 in the class, 501. If you look back, though, a year ago, he was like number 1,000 or worse, right? So he got the Michigan bump to raise up in that recruiting class. Go look at his film. Grab that name, Micah Kapana. Go look at his film on YouTube after the show, of course. Don't leave us and watch it. He screams as an instant impact guy to me. I'm not sure why he's ranked so low. I mean, he's not even that small. He's 5'11", 195 is what they list him at. I think he is the most underrated player in this Michigan football class. The combination of him and Jordan Marshall is a big one. 2 more running backs added on to the 2 Michigan brought in last year. I think next season might be, depending on what Diamond Edwards is, like a little step back on running backs. But 2025 and beyond, and Michigan will be loaded at the position for a few more years. Out of the state of Ohio, St. Edward's High School. And I think I actually confused him with the other lineman. It's Ben Roebuck that's got teammates who are committed to Ohio State. I think I said the other offensive lineman from Avon a few minutes ago, Luke Hamilton. So it's Ben Roebuck. But either way, offensive lineman in the state of Ohio, spurning the Buckeyes and going to the rival, etc. Love what I see of Ben Roebuck. Now, he's a big boy, 6'7", 320 pounds. what an absolute beast. Michigan is filling the needs here. I think maybe wide receiver is the one area where you still probably don't have that like next future star, which really hasn't existed under Jim Harbaugh, star wide receivers. You say what you want about Roman Wilson. He got 10 of his 11 touchdowns like the first 7 games of the year, so he really didn't come up big in the biggest games for Michigan. They're filling the defensive line. They're filling needs in the future in offensive line and then running back. And like if you think about Jim Harbaugh lately, like those positions plus the secondary are where this team has really excelled and continue to churn out high-level players. Where we leave off, so Ben Roebuck, Dominic Nichols on the edge, out of Maryland, 6'3", 6'5", 252. Been committed since June as well as Michigan that was really when the recruiting class ended in a lot of ways. It was back in June and early July. And the next 6 months, not a ton happened. Channing Goodwin, same high school as Jadyn Davis. They didn't get their other high school classmate, another wide receiver. We're not going to mention his name, committed to North Carolina. Channing Goodwin, son of Jonathan Goodwin, the Michigan legend, longtime NFL player. Only a 3-star. I think he's underrated, number 558, 6'1", 180. I'm not sure how much he's going to see the field early on because I think he's more of a receiver than he is like an instant impact, like, coming in for a wide receiver screen or a punt return or anything like that. So maybe he won't see this season field for a season or two. Continue to roll on here. We've got David Palepele. He is the one who committed to USC a while back, flipped to Michigan. Number 750 in this class, 6'3", 205. He's going to come off the edge, right? He's got to put on some weight. Might even drive back to linebacker, given that he's a little undersized to be a true defensive end. Not somebody I expect to see on the field for at least a couple seasons for Michigan. Rounding out this class, Manuel Beigel from Connecticut, 6'4", 282. He committed to Michigan in July of 2020, right? One of the first 4 or 5 players in this class to commit. We'll see. I mean, very rarely do these last 3 or 4 players in Michigan's class ever truly pan out, but we'll pull for these guys here. Jeremiah Lowe out of Kentucky, 5'11", 170. A player that Michigan's staff and Steve Clinkscale had eyes on for a number of years, given that he was the coach at Kentucky prior. So I'll trust Michigan's judgment on him. And then Zach Ludwig, linebacker out of Pennsylvania. I don't know. Given he's ranked 1,757, I am not certain that he is a scholarship player and it doesn't end up being a preferred walk-on, just to be clear with you guys on what the expectations are at this point. So that is the 27 members of Michigan's 2024 recruiting class. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Jack, do we have the live subscribe number? Can we toss that up on all the show? Yeah, pull that up when you get a chance. Show the people there. He's 305, not 205. Who says 305, not 205? Did I misspeak on a player's weight? Let's see. Did I misspeak? Who are we talking about for 205? I know I did say somebody 205 pounds, but I'm going off his recruiting profile. I told you I'm not in there in the weeds with all the recruits, so I could have missed one on that one. So nevertheless, did I say Pally? Yeah, I guess I did say Pally. 305. So he committed recently. I haven't got a chance to look at his film, but you are right. David Palepele is 305 pounds, not 205. Subscribe to the channel. Help us get a bigger audience so I can afford to get LASIK eye surgery because I refuse to wear glasses because I just don't know. I don't think they look that great on me. I see Ken Canyon. I see you in the chat. I see Francis Garcia in the chat. Otis John Jr., thank you for correcting us. Mountain of a defensive lineman. I appreciate that for letting us know there, Otis. I was not on top of that recruitment, so nevertheless, that is what it is. Jordan Marshall, Jadyn Davis, and Marshall should be 5 stars. I agree with you on that one. I think they have the talent. They're right on the cusp. Did maybe have the breakout senior years, participate in all the camps, and so did we get a little snub there? We'll see. You guys see the live subscriber count. We were at 30,086. If you have yet to subscribe to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You will see that number change in real time. So I'm not moving, Jack. I'm not moving until we get another subscriber, until that says 30,087. Ready? I'm just going to be silent. Are we sure it's working, Jack? Come on, give us one subscriber here, and then we will continue on. We just hit 30,000 a few weeks ago. There we go. Oh, there's 2 subscribers right there. I guess there's like a 10-second delay. So, okay, so there we go. It worked at least there, right? So it's like, wait, what happened? We have 270 or so people watching. Let's get to 100 likes, but while we're doing that, like the video. Here's the top recruiting classes for this 2024 cycle, and we got a huge show for you on tap. So don't think it's just all recruiting, all lists, all reviews. We're going to go over Michigan, Alabama. I've got the scoop on this Michigan football game plan. Thanks, Kenyon. Ken Kenyon, appreciate that. You're my dog as well. Georgia's got the number 1 class. Did Ohio State really drop down to number 4, Jack? That's crazy because they were number 2. So they've lost. They lost a 5-star defensive lineman to Alabama. It looks like they kept Jeremiah Smith, though, the number 1 player in the country, the wide receiver. Alabama, Georgia, what's new? Florida State, nice class there. Pop up to number 3 with 23 recruits. Texas at number 5. Oregon, NIL University, Miami. It's Oregon and Miami, the NIL U's. And then Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Florida. Keep it rolling, 11 through 20. You've got Auburn, LSU, Clemson making a comeback on the recruiting trails. They've had a couple down seasons for a team that went to the college football playoffs 4 straight years from 2015 to 2018. Tennessee, Penn State, and then you got there Michigan at number 27, rounded out by USC, South Carolina. Nebraska got one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the country in Dylan Raiola. Flipped from Ohio State to Georgia to Nebraska. Obviously got that NIL bag, plus his dad played there, longtime NFL offensive lineman, and his uncle is on the staff. I believe he's the offensive line coach. Texas A&M, big drop-off for them, right? They've been in the top 5 for the last 6-7 years, and they've lost so many players in the transfer portal. I think it's like 11 or 12 players that are 4 or 5-star rated players have transferred just this off season. So that is the top 20 classes. I want to ask you guys this question. Who is the first recruit you remember for Michigan? Think back when you were a kid in high school, junior high maybe. Depends on how old you are, right? Recruiting is becoming more popular over time. It probably was in its heyday like 2005 to 2014 before social media really took over. Who is the first recruit you remember? I give some shout outs here. Clifford Taylor says Ricky Leach. You remember him as a recruit? That's pretty wild. I don't know how much recruiting was popular back in the 70s when Leach would have been a recruit, but now some people are talking my language here. Chad Henne, Mike Hart, that famed Michigan 2004 recruiting class. We got another one. Rick Moeller says Rick the Peach Leach. All right. Shane Morris from Green Arrow, 4-star, high 4-star quarterback under Brady Hoke. I think it was the 2012 class, 13 class. So somebody say Daxton Hill, that's Case and Scott. So newer to the recruiting game, 19 class, I guess it was for Michigan. Tyrone Wheatley, Rick Leach again. Woodson, all right, that's a pretty good one, Charles Woodson. Now, I don't know if I remember Woodson as a recruit, although I was like a Michigan fan. I just didn't really know what recruiting was back then in the 1995 class. That Jack, I believe this class, 1995 class, Michigan recruiting class. Charles Woodson and Tom Brady, same recruiting class. Imagine that. And their coach got fired like 2 months after signing day because he got in an argument with his wife at a bar and like broke a glass on the table. So they had an interim coach for their entire freshman year. Doug Dutch out of Washington, D.C. says Matt LaPointe. Ed Shuttlesworth. I don't even know that name. That guy, Tom Brady, wasn't a big recruit, but all right. Alabama Football Report. All right, let's get some boos in the chat. Alabama Football Report is in the chat. We might have to ban them. Get some boos. Get some beat Alabama football again. That doesn't really make as much sense. It's not a Bosa, but give me some boos in the chat for the Alabama Football Report. Type FU if you want. Type both. Was it? What's that? BAFA. Yeah, that's not bad. BAFA. Yeah, last time Michigan beat Alabama was January 1st, 2000, which first day of the new millennium, Jack. Quarterback of that team for Michigan was Tom Brady. You are correct. 375 yards, 4 touchdowns, 35-34 win over the Tide in the Orange Bowl. Never forget that game again. So, boo because you're scared. We should get Chris's. Jack, track me down Chris's Twitter account. Track it down for me. And then let's put that in the chat. Let's make sure we roast Chris, our resident Alabama guy here at Chat Sports. I'll give a few more shout-outs to people who showed love to my tweet. We got John LaPointe, who's at JON LaPointe. Matthew Ormsby at Matthew Orm with an M, MATTHEWORMBSBY7. Giving it some retweets. Jason Boutwell, Cortez, Zeno, Mike from AA, Josh Sherwood, Jack Lautaret, etc. are showing love there. So, Chris, Jack, what are you doing with the crazy link? You got to get rid of the jive, Jack. You got a computer. That's okay. All right. So here's the guy who's in there. So Chris Daughtry, not the singer, the producer for Chat Sports, runs our Alabama show. Here is his Twitter account. So if you guys can tweet go blue at him. I put that in the live chat. So you guys can. There's Chris Daughtry. He's only got 100 followers. That's show you how smart he is, because he's kind of a bum, right? Because he's got only 100 followers, likes Alabama. I don't know how we even hired him. I have to talk to the HR department here and how we even have an Alabama channel. Little Wojo says, you hired our old linebackers coach. Wasn't good enough for Michigan. Good enough for Alabama. First Michigan recruit I remembers, one of my first Ace of Spades says one of the first person to pronounce Ormsby right. Well, thank you. I guess Ace of Spades is Matthew Ormsby. So appreciate that. You got the M slides in there, right? You think it's like Ormsby, like Hornsby or something like that, but it's Ormsby. So thank you so much to Matthew Ormsby for showing some love. Tweet at Chris Daughtry. I almost said Chris Lautaret. That's your mom, Jack. Just tweet Go Blue at him. Make sure he remembers what show he came in and tried to troll in the live chat. First recruit I remember was Drew Henson, right? Because he committed to Michigan, which was kind of way early that time, like spring of his junior year. Which was way early. Guys kind of committed right before signing day back in the day. And then, was a star at Michigan, but really didn't live up to his potential, although I do think before J.J. McCarthy, I think he was Michigan's best quarterback that I ever saw, not as a career-wise, but if I had one game most talented quarterback, I do think it was Drew Henson, was the first recruit I remember. Came in that famed 1998 recruiting class with David Terrell, Marquise Walker, Justin Fargas, and a bunch of other guys, the number one recruiting class in America, coming off the 1997 national championship for Michigan football. M. Nelly says Jabril Peppers. John Otis says the Red Elephants go down. They are going down. I think Michigan's going to win this game. Rodney Feaster says John Howard. Thomas Welcher. Okay, Thomas Welcher now I don't think he's a coach anymore, but he's been a high school coach in and around Michigan. Is Welcher now like a coach in like D3 in Michigan football, one of those big schools like Grand Valley State or something like that? But definitely know the name. Francis says I remember Huggy Bear. That's Huggy Bear Jack was this actor. I can't remember the show in like the 70s and 80s. His son, then Justin Fargas, came to Michigan as like the number one running back in the country. Didn't work out, got injured, broke his leg, had to switch to safety, then transferred to USC and ended up having a nice like fifth year as a running back there. A couple years in the league for Justin Fargas. Keegan Imoff says Drew Henson, same as me. Little Wojo says 35-17, Michigan's going to beat Alabama and go blue. And then Cortez says Wheatley because he gets to kick our ass. I'm guessing in high school is what you mean. I think Tyron Wheatley is definitely out of the state of Michigan, so you must have played for him there in the early 90s in the state of Michigan. I think Wheatley was in the 1991 recruiting class, if I recall correctly. Starsky and Hutch, all right. Which Hutch are we? Starsky and Hutch, the show. Yeah, that's he was in Starsky and Hutch, Justin Fargas' dad. There you go, Huggy Bear in Starsky and Hutch. Says Courtney Harper, a.k.a. Come On, Son Harper. Antonio Vargas is his name. He played Huggy Bear on Starsky and Hutch. So there he goes. That was before my time. Okay, that was before my time. Wheatley from Dearborn, Michigan. I can't remember the name of that. I can't really pronounce the name of that. Robichaud High School. Fargas as well. Ace of Spades. That is our first super chat of the day. We will toss him on the channel. I'm giving him a helmet sticker. Jack, after this, show the people what the helmet sticker means, that little graphic that we have here in a moment. I'm going to get Ace of Spades a helmet sticker, then read off his Ace of Spades. What are the numbers there, Jack? 6407. 7, and today's day is 12/20. Ace of Spades, you are on the newest. Where's the one you just gave me, Jack? You know you gave me like a... Oh, right in front of me, yeah. Got a new helmet, Block M, Maze Block M on the front. I'm going to put you, Ace of Spades, the first Super Chat today show, right next to the Michigan Block M. So there you are, Ace of Spades, my sloppy handwriting, but it's a longer username, and I've got a fine-tooth marker. Let's read what he says, though. I wish I could beat Bama 27-17. I wish I could be there, but college tuition has to come first. Whether it's your kids or your own, I got to put priorities first, and certainly appreciate that. I have been to a few Rose Bowls in my life. I've been to a couple Michigan ones. I've been to USC, Penn State. I've been to Ohio State, Oregon. But Michigan hasn't been there in a while. I haven't been to the Rose Bowl in like 12, 13 years. So I am going to go out there, taking son, wife, daughter. We're going to go to San Diego for 3 days first, doing Legoland, San Diego Zoo, visiting some friends, going up on the 31st to LA, and then to the Rose Bowl on the 1st, and heading back here to Dallas the day after that. So thank you so much, Ace Spades. $10 Super Chat. He is on the hard hat. He is immortalized. He'll be on the end of screen for after this season, right? So what we did last year, we started doing live shows more often. in November of last year. So anybody who super chatted like November through March, I think we're going to do it through February 7th this year, the next signing day. So you go out 2 months, right? Less than 2 months, 6 weeks. Anybody who sends a $10 super chat will be on our helmets. We'll give you shout outs. You'll be on our list of super chatters, and you will be on our end screen for 3, 4, 5 videos a week all next season, all this offseason into the 2024 season, into 2025 signing day, February of 2025. Do we have the video, Jack? Want to show the video? Play the video. Just play it whenever you're ready. Just press play and I'll stop talking. Here it is. Whoa, no, Jack, no, not the one. Not the one. Not the one. Just come back to me. There we go. Little technical error there. Jack Lautaret, we called you the best in the biz. People are talking, though. People are doubting your capabilities. All right, run. And there we go. So 40 people sent Super Chat in that 2 to 3 month sprint, about 10, 12 live shows. Last football season, college football playoff run, and then all the Harbaugh NFL drama. We've got, over 100 now, right, this year? So we'll have that next year. So hope everybody's on that list, continues on it. But here's our Super Chat menu for today's Michigan Football Report. $5, really any amount, but we like to say, hey, show $5. But if you can only give 1, 2, that's fine too. Answer your question live. You will be live here on the show. We'll be live for about 2.5 hours, so I would guess, just based on the amount of content that we have. $10, you get on the helmet sticker, so you'll be getting shout-outs for the next 4, 5, 6 live shows. And then you'll be on that video that you just saw for an entire year of programming. $25, we will chant your name for 60 seconds. It's kind of like this, let's just pick somebody. Little Wojo. Little Wojo, little. That's like Farajaka. It's like, hail to Little Wojo. Or Jack will just come on and we'll jump around and say, Little Wojo, Little Wojo, Little Wojo. Like something like that. Ashley Lawson coming with a $50 super chat. That is the Sack Jack to send Jack to Houston fund. Before you go to that, let me finish here, Jack. Ashley's the $50 super chat. Boom, Ashley. Thank you so much for the contribution. Here comes your question in a second. But the Send Jack to Houston fund, corporates, hey, economy, all that stuff. But it's been cut back next year. I've got approved for me to travel to Houston for the national championship game. And they're like, hey, Jack can't go. He can do his work from the office. I said, no, we're gonna take Jack. I'll make up the difference if I have to. You estimated with hotel, travel, etc. It costs about $1,000 to send Jack to Houston. And we're now at $350, but that's $340 now, right, Jack? Yeah. So we are now at $340 away. So only going to count $50 exact, unless if you put more than $50, you got to say, Jack, send Jack to Houston in there. So you can give more than 50 if you guys specify. Got to send a Jack to Houston fund for that entire amount or any of the amount to count towards that. So we are now $340 away of the Send Jack to Houston fund. So quick math there. That means we've got $660 of the last 3 shows in the Send Jack to Houston fund. So appreciate that. Ashley Lawson, I promise Young Harbaugh I'd send this week for his trip to the big game. Thank you so much, Ashley Lawson. You are a real one. Hope you're enjoying the helmet. Hope it's found a nice spot for you in the Lawson household. She won a duck race a few weeks ago, about a month ago or so, for a Michigan football helmet, and has been an avid contributor to the show this season. So Ashley Lawson, she's a top 10er, right, at this point, Jack, or no? Still there. So one of our top 10 contributors. Make sure you add that 50 burger for her. And if anybody wants to send a $100 super chat in, I will do. The beer bong is being used by another show, so we will do a beer merbonga, $100 if you want to see a grown man, 2 kids, do beer bongs on a Wednesday afternoon at now 1:39 p.m. Eastern. So let's type Ashley in the chat. Show some love. Ken Kenny says Ashley's a real one for life. You know what I need, Jack? I need my computer charger. So I'm going to send a message to everybody to bring my computer bag.
While James is typing, get your questions in. Our first segment of the day is going to be a mailbag, so use hashtag Michigan, or you can super chat, and we'll get your questions answered on the show. So make sure you get them in. We got a jam-packed show today. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, use hashtag Michigan. Jack, do we have the menu of things we're going to talk about today on the show here? So use hashtag Michigan, just like I did in the live chat, and there. So you should have a talk show I would watch for sure. He's talking to me or somebody else, but hey, if we have a talk show, maybe we would watch for sure. So use hashtag Michigan or super chat with a specific question. We'll put it on our mailbags that were coming up. So what we got? King Dingaling, we got another $10 super chat. So King Dingaling, the $10 super chat. We owe Ashley 5 stickers. Let me get her hers. Jack, read the man's question for me. Why I get these 2 super chats? I'll get King Dingaling and then Ashley Lawson.
He says, already got trip package to Natty pending result versus Bama, so we better win.
All right.
Michigan football is
Thank you.
my one true love, so no way I'm not there to see them win.
What's the date? 12/20?
Today is
so
the 20th.
12/20, and then Ashley Lawson. Bad handwriting by me. I got to get this one on there. Ashley Lawson. Another bad handwriting. So I'll get King Dingaling, and then I'll get Ashley's correct because I keep scribbling and not looking good. So King Dingaling, you are next to Gregory Martin, John Blaze, another Gregory Martin. Those guys were having a battle a few weeks ago. I got King Dingaling. Where's he at? Right. Which side is the camera right there? King Dingaling. Tougher name to write. So it took me a second to fit it on there. Then Ashley Lawson, 12/20. Ashley, 50 burgers. So we'll get 4 more stickers after the show, Ashley. So you have 5 spots for that $50 that you contributed to Jack's. Send Jack to Houston and put you right up front, Ashley, for that 50 spot right there. Got a 50 for Jack going to the Jacksonville Zoo. Sending Jack to the Natty. Jacksonville Zoo is going to be there, so we're going to hang out with him. Look, when Michigan goes to the national championship game, the plan for us would probably be there, get there on Saturday, and then head back to Dallas on Tuesday, the day after the game. If Michigan wins, though, we might just do a 24-hour stream after the game if we go there. So Jacksonville Zoe says, looking forward to meeting James and Jax for the Natty. Go Blue. Let me get you your sticker. Jacksonville Zoe, my man, a multiple time hard hat member, an avid supporter of the show, and a guy that I can't wait to meet in Houston for the national championship game coming up on January 8th. It'd be pretty cool if it was Michigan-Texas, wouldn't it? Because they play, it'd be cool if it was Michigan-Texas, and then both J.J. McCarthy and Quinn Ewers came back. Because if you think about that, right? Think about that scenario. I got to figure out which way is which. Okay, there you go, Jacksonville Zoe. I got you, man. Whoop, wrong way. Boop, right there. If you think about that, right? Those two teams play each other September 7th in the Big House next year. When Michigan beats Alabama, I'm not even saying when Michigan beats Alabama, and then Texas beats Washington, which they're favored to do, it would be in Houston, so in Texas country, so Michigan fans would really have to represent. But then you have a rematch of that game, which would almost certainly be, if those teams both won those games, both have the starting quarterbacks coming back, number 1 versus number 2 matchup, week 2 of the year next year at Michigan Stadium, September 7th. It's already been said it's going to be a big noon kickoff game. Joel Klatt, Gus Johnson. Woo, baby. I couldn't wait for that one. Can't wait to meet Jacksonville, though, in Houston for the Natty. He has contributed to the Send Jack to Houston Fund. And you see our list here. This is the rundown of today's show. So we are going to do a live audience Q&A. So use hashtag Michigan or super chat a question or observation in. You'll get on this next segment that we'll put up on the channel in the next couple of days. I don't think we'll be in the office on Sunday or Monday for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so we want to have content for you guys so you can watch that stuff later on. We'll go over the 2024 recruiting class again. We'll kind of see the updated rankings, anything that's changed while we've been live. I'll give you my keys to beating Alabama. I think you'll really like some of these. I've got some info on what Michigan's been game planning for, some little scoop on like how they think they can exploit this Alabama defense, how they can stop Jalen Milroe and the Alabama offense. We'll do another Q&A from the MFers, Michigan Football Report audience, and MFer Q&A number 2. What's that little icon there, Jack? Where's that blue icon? I can't tell. Oh, mailbox. Okay, cool. And then what to watch for in the Rose Bowl, Michigan versus Alabama. Want to do show you guys what we have got going on. I'll give a few shout-outs. I don't want to play Texas in Texas. Fair enough, King Dingaling. I'm just kind of speculating there. Preference, it'll probably be 70% or more Texas fans. So they really have the home field advantage. Although I think Michigan, when they beat Alabama, would be favored by 3 points over Texas. My guess would be 6 to 7 over Washington, unless one of those teams absolutely blew out the other. Then maybe it's a closer spread. But yeah, Washington, Michigan would be a little less expensive of a ticket to get in, of course, and then Michigan would have probably more of the percentage of fan bases, given that the game would not be in the home state, 2.5 hours away from the campus of Texas. Billy Taylor says Mark Swanger. I'm guessing that's the first recruit he He remembers. Doesn't Michigan play Washington next year? They do. So that could be a game. I think it's October 5th, which I believe is the 7th week of the season next year. The season actually starts in August next year, August 31st. So, but, they're not going to have their quarterback, and so you could have a rematch, but I just don't think it will be number 1 versus 2, and of course Michigan will be on the road, so not as fun for Michigan fans in the stadium. I like this one from Case and Scott. What the excuse going to be when Michigan wins the Natty? What do you think the excuse will be, Jack? Right? It's Stallions. Is it still Stallions? Oh, Georgia lost to Alabama, so they had an easy road to get in, something like that. I am sure. I want to do this though, Jack. Let's add Rick Harfer in the house, $10 super chat. He says, "Go Blue, beat Bama, Yoder for general manager of Michigan football. I take the job. If they let me live in Dallas, I don't think my wife would let me move at this point, but maybe I could go back and forth on Harbaugh's private jet. Thank you so much to Rick. Let me get you on the helmet. You are immortalized on the helmet, and you will continue to be on our end screen for the next football season." Rick's getting a helmet sticker. He's a hard hat kind of guy. And he's a Michigan Football Report icon. I'm going to put him right up there above the Michigan logo. Rick Harfer, $10 super chat. Jack, let's do the duck race, though. But here's what I'm going to do, if we can really quick. Let's add the $10 super chats from this show. So we got Rick, Jacksonville Zoe, King Dingaling, right? Ashley Lawson, Ace of Spades 6407. Can we add those folks on there? Okay, so that is there. Go back to the menu in the show, Jack, and we'll keep this thing rolling here. After the race, maybe. After the race, that's probably fine. Probably a little better to do. So we'll get a few people. So what we're going to do is we've got a couple giveaways here from our friends at Manscaped. So this one's going to be the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. It's over $100 retail value. We're going to send that to you. So whoever wins this duck race, you got to DM me on, let's just say Twitter, because Instagram DMs, Jack. When I made the account private, I came back to it like 350 DMs. It's impossible to find anybody on there now because I made the account private. People are like, accept me and all this different stuff. So I'll just gonna stick to Twitter at James Yoder. So we're gonna take your questions. So continue to use hashtag Michigan or super chat. 99 cents if you want. We'll put it on the show. Support you guys. Get you on the show for supporting us. We've already got $100, Jack. Support Jack. Send Jack to fund $100. So. Yeah, and we said by Christmas, so I'm going to have to make up that last $290, but we'd appreciate anything that we can get. I like this, Jack. I like this the size of this. I felt this good. So we're going to do your questions. We're going to go through the Michigan football recruiting class again, do another Q&A, Michigan's keys to beating Alabama, and then the preview what to watch for in this game. So if you guys haven't been with us before, the winner of this is going to get Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, and then we'll do another one later in the show. The same people or anybody who super chats $10 or more will add you to it. We'll do a Manscaped beard hedger as well, giveaways back to you guys for this holiday season. So there's all the super chatters from our last show and the people who have sent in $10 or more on this show. We got a lot of people in there. So we've added Jacksonville Zoe, Ashley Lawson, King Dingling. And we got Ashley Lawson. Jack has to go to Houston with another $50 super chat. Boom! Ashley Lawson. Hail, hail to Ashley Lawson. Jack, the fun is getting there. You got to send Jack to Houston, she says. Ashley, what about you? Can we get you to go to Houston? We'd certainly love to hang out, to buy you a drink or whatever, your dinner or something like that for all your support of the show. I'll get you another sticker. Ashley, we now owe you 8 more stickers. I've got 2, one for each $50 super chat, as she is going to send Jack to Houston all by herself, really. Got another one for you right up next to Rick and next to your other one. Got a couple Ashley Lawsons. Ace of Spades. We get Ace of Spades 64-7 on there, Jack? All right. So what do we got? Like 19 people now, right? Or 16, 19, 18? All right. So what do we got here, Jack? We got snowmen. Okay. Snowmen. Let's see the snowmen running. The winner of this will win a Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. I am blind, so I might have to come around towards my screen a little bit more to call some of these names. But let's get this race rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, start your snowshoes. All right. On your mark. get set, go! We're off to the races. Our Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra giveaway. Jack will put that link in the live chat as well. Support the show. Support Manscaped. Let's get some calls on this. That white text with the white snow, it's tough to do. We got Roscoe Truman way out in front. Rick Harford making a move there to the top of the screen. Then we got John Blaze coming in from the bottom of the screen. Cody Mumford cruising for show. Some guy way in the back. Our guy Steve Ricard. We call him Steve. Outdoor Montana. 30 seconds to go here for the Manscaped giveaway. Ace of Spades, 6407, making a move to the middle of the screen. Ted D, Big D Retro. Tattoo, what does it say? Tattoo Hick, is that what it is? Jacksonville Zoe way in the back. Some guy way in the back. Cruising for show way in the back. Now it's tightening up as we are coming down the stretch. It's King Ding-a-ling. He's swinging that thing all across the screen. King Ding-a-ling. Down the stretch they come. 5 seconds. Jacksonville Zoe takes the lead. At the buzzer, it's Jacksonville Zoe for the win! Jacksonville Zoe is your winner! Woo! Those things are always electric, Jack. Those things are always electric. There you go, Jacksonville Zoe. If you could, you got to be watching still. You just supered 5 minutes ago. Jacksonville Zoe, DM me on Twitter right now so I can confirm, make sure we don't have anybody, tweeting. I can't remember if I've tweeted, DM with people in the past. I can't remember. I'll take a look really quick. Jacksonville Zone. Jacksonville. I don't know if we have or not. So if you can, DM me at James Yoder, Jacksonville Zoe, right now. And we'll keep it rolling. So let's see what we are rolling with. I'm going to see if I've DM'd with him before. No, I do. Yeah, Jacksonville Zoe. So I have. There we go. There we go, Jacksonville Zoe. Yo! Manscaped winner. There you go. He's here. So we just shared the DM. So he actually messaged me as I was typing one to him. I'll give him a little plug. It is at Zoe31227332. So I don't know if he wants me to or not, but I'm going to do it anyways. Show him some love. So go follow Jacksonville Zoe there on Twitter, the winner of our Manscaped Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Send me that address back in DM, Jacksonville, and then we'll get you out your Manscaped winner here. We'll send it out later tonight, and hopefully you'll get it right after Christmas before Michigan, Alabama, so you could trim up to have yourself a nice night after Michigan beats Alabama. If you know what I'm saying. Now make things look real nice. I like this question from Kyle Jondon. If you can, Jack, can we pull that one in for one of our Q&As? Kyle, could you just copy and paste that? Okay, there we go. So Jack can pull it in, but use hashtag Michigan. It goes right to the top of our producer queue. If not, Jack's got to do a little manual labor to get that bad boy going. Let me get a little sip of water here, Jack. And then I think it's time now. I like this thing, by the way, in the live chat. If you guys see it, a little icon, like a heart icon. You can pop it up. It's got 100. It's got a little party thing. Tap that a few times. You'll see hearts fly across the screen. So if you guys see that, let's see if we can spam some hearts. Before we get into this Q&A, we got 111 likes, 113 likes. Go ahead and give us a like on the video. Use hashtag Michigan. I see the hearts flying across the screen, so certainly appreciate that. Chef Maine, as of now, Jack, we should take a look out there while we're going to do the segment, make sure we're not missing any news and anything like that. But Chef Maine says, Hoovy landed, and he flips. 4-star defensive lineman Lugard Edokpayi commits to Michigan this morning. Number 220 player in the country. Michigan wasn't even in this top 5 6 weeks ago. Now he's committed to the Wolverines. 27th member of this class, which is now the 16th ranked class in the 24/7 Sports composite rankings. We're going to go over the entire class in here in a few minutes. Now, actually, funny enough, while we are on this, Jack, we do have some breaking news. Michigan has gotten, it happened after we went live, so don't blame us for not being on top of everything. Jyshawn Barnum has committed to Michigan, so we should put that at the top of our recruiting show. So maybe you can take a look at that, Jack. I'll send you his information, and we are getting this going. So let me send you this over. So Michigan's got a transfer portal guy, a linebacker from Maryland. We'll get you all the transfer portal. Yeah, not a commit, but I think we should put it at the top of our recruiting segment for the people. So see if we can get some his stats and everything like that on that player linebacker. Jadyn Barnum has committed to Michigan. He put it out in a tweet maybe an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. Visited Michigan about a week ago, from what I'm reading here, and we saw it. Transfer portal is just something that's so tough to really understand. So, as a true freshman, 58 tackles, 6 tackles for losses in 2022. Why didn't he play in 2023 though? I don't know. Let's see. So maybe he was injured. I don't know. See if we can find his stats though, Jack, for 2022 and or 2023, unless what I'm reading here is wrong on Michigan's newish addition to the team. So that's great. It steals one from a Big Ten team, which is also good, right? So last year you stole Ernest Hausman from Nebraska, coming over to Michigan. He was a starter for 7 games, got a sack against Michigan. Now you're stealing Jadyn Barnum or Barham from Maryland. I just want to pull up his stats here to make sure that so a little bit down year, but might be injured. 37 tackles. So maybe we can just do his career stats, Jack. 2 seasons, right? That'd be good. And we'll show you him and more information here in a few moments. Jack, I just sent you those stats as we are live on the Michigan Football Report. Our signing day special. I want to know what he did against Michigan this year. So against Michigan, second last game of the year before Ohio State, second last regular season game, he had 7 tackles. 3 of those tackles were solos, 4 assists, and okay, now that's who it is. I'm forgetting. I'm like, that's the guy who got the interception of J.J. McCarthy, right? Dropped back into coverage, and McCarthy, he baited J.J. McCarthy, boom, got the pick right at the goal line. So that's okay. Was at that game, brutally windy game, by the way, to be at. Wasn't super fun. Jacksonville, though, really nice linebacker addition from Maryland. His stats should be better next year with Jesse Minter. Absolutely agree, as long as Michigan holds on to Minter. Look, the Eagles demoted their defensive coordinator, right? The guy that they hired over Minter last year. So don't be surprised the Eagles make another run for Jesse Minter this offseason, which would be a huge blow to Michigan, as Minter has proven to be maybe the best defensive coordinator in all of college football, or maybe even all of football. Then maybe Mike McDonald with the best record in the NFL, the Baltimore Ravens. So had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So only played in 10 games this year, so we'll have to dig into a little more if he was hurt or anything like that. I agree with Chef Maine. Waiting for Damani Jackson to commit to Michigan. Would absolutely love that as well. So 37 tackles, 3 sacks this year. That 1 interception off J.J. McCarthy. Going back to his true freshman year, though, that'd be a little interesting one. 54 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 forced fumble. No interceptions, though, as a true freshman for the newest linebacker. And I believe it's the first, unless I missed somebody, it's the first player that has flipped to Michigan, has come to Michigan as a transfer portal guy this year. Last year, this time, Michigan had like 8 transfer portal players overall. So going back to Barham, he was out of St. Francis Academy, so we knew that one. Fame Biff Poggi, et cetera, Blake Corum as well. He was a 4-star, a 3-star, I should say. 4-star out of high school, though, I should say. 130 player overall 2 years ago, number 11 linebacker. So this is a pretty big get for Michigan. And the 130th player ranked in the country coming out of high school in the 2022 class, was a freshman level All-American in 2022. Took a step back last year, missed a couple games, and now he has committed to Michigan. Will be a great addition next year, kind of slide in there. Ernest Hausman, maybe Junior Colson, if he comes back. Jack, we think we got enough on him to put him at the top of our second segment, the recruiting segment. Career stats. Okay, cool. And maybe put 2 seasons on that one. Make sure we know that. All right, let's do it. Let's get into our Michigan Football Report mailbag, and then we'll go and recap the recruiting class and all the transfer portal players and news that we've got here on our National Signing Day special. Use hashtag Michigan or Super Chat to get on the show. It is the Michigan Football Report. I'm going to do a little, this. Michigan Football Report, mailbag number 1. First of 5 segments we got coming at you right now. I am your host, James Yoder. It is our Inside Michigan Football mailbag. We're putting Inside Michigan Football because we saw a couple good questions in there that I think pull some really great information out of me as Michigan is going to face Alabama on January 1st. We're going to focus a little bit on that game, talk about next year, the future for this Michigan football team. But before we do, keep putting the good vibes out this Christmas season, this holiday season, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. But we're all Michigan fans, hopefully, or you're just trying to spy on Michigan, trying to get an inside scoop. Nick Saban watching. Type Go Blue either in the live chat or if you're watching this on demand. We'll put this up on the channel Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe even on Christmas Day. If you're watching it then, give me a Go Blue down in the comments. Let's take our first question, though, from Daniel DeWalt. Daniel DeWalt says, if JJ returns in 2024, where will we be ranked in the preseason polls? And he's using hashtag Michigan. If you're watching live, make sure you're using that hashtag Michigan as well. That's a really good question because it's so confusing and so difficult right now, this last couple of years, to really future kind of project the next year's polls until all the NFL guys have had and all the transfer portal has happened. But even more worse than that is the transfer portal happens again in April. So you could get quarterbacks who lose their starting job, or in a battle they don't win the starting job in the spring. They want to transfer. So a lot of things can change between now and August when these polls came out. But we had this ready for a show that we're going to do in a couple weeks. And so I figured, Jack, let's toss up the screen. So here's my way too early top 10. You see 1, 2, and 3. I'm just bunching them together, right? Whichever of those three teams, at least in my opinion, as long as what Daniel says. So if JJ returns, right, it's contingent on JJ returning, contingent on Quinn Ewers returning. Whichever one of those teams does best in the college football playoff. So, for instance, Michigan, Alabama. Michigan wins, but they lose to Texas. Texas is number 1 next year. Michigan's probably number 2, right? If Alabama somehow beats Michigan, they win the national championship. They're number 1 next year. Maybe Texas is number 2. Or Texas loses, they kind of drop down to number 3. Maybe Michigan, Alabama are 1-2 next year if they play in a close game. I've got Georgia. They've got the quarterback coming back. They could pop up into this top 3, maybe, depending on who leaves for any of these schools. Of course, if Quinn Ewers or J.J. McCarthy leaves, then I think it's a definite. Oregon got a great quarterback transfer, 2 great quarterback transfers. Utah, right? They're returning the quarterback for a 6th year. I don't know where to put Ohio State. I don't know who the quarterback's going to be, but they'll have one of the top 4 or 5 most talented teams in the country, so we're going to put them at number 7. Drew Aller coming in back at Penn State. Those running backs, great offense coming back. I guess great talented offense, not really a great execution offense. Coming back, number 8. Ole Miss, owning the transfer portal next year. They'll have their quarterback returning. And then Arizona. What a season from Arizona, Jack. I like what I see out of Arizona. My thoughts are on this. So if whatever team plays better in this CFP, that's going to be your number 1 player, number 1 team in the preseason polls. Just like Georgia was last year, right? They're not in the playoff. They lost their quarterback, but they dominated TCU 65-7, beat Ohio State. So they're just the de facto. They're number 1 next year. You got to beat them to take them out. Whatever happens with Michigan, Alabama, and Texas, I think the team that performs the best, right, that performs the best, one of those 3 teams is going to win the national championship. If Texas beats Washington, one of those 3 teams will win the national championship. And that's the case, I think they'll be the number 1 team in the country. The other 2 will fall right behind them, assuming those quarterbacks coming back. If Washington were to win the national title, I don't even think they'll be in the top 5 unless they get a transfer quarterback down the stretch here that we don't know about that can keep them at the level they played the last 2 seasons with Michael Penix Jr. Let me know what you guys think, though, on J.J. McCarthy in 2024. Will he play at Michigan for a 4th season, 3rd season as the starting quarterback, or will he be NFL bound? I've said it in the past. If he's a top 15 pick, which I think he might be, then look, I don't want something bad to happen where his football career's over and he never got to make money and kind of cash in on that. I'll say the NFL, but I hope that he's at Michigan just selfishly. So it's all kind of goes on him. If he's a top 15 pick, go. If you're not a top 15 pick, right, if you're like slated maybe 27th or 2nd round, come back, be a top 5 or 10 pick next year, maybe even number 1 pick, and get all that guaranteed money right on your first contract. Coming in from Ken Canyon with a question. He says, if you think Harbaugh, do you think JJ will stay? If Harbaugh stays, JJ will stay. It certainly helps, right? I think J.J. McCarthy is going to make a decision before we know what happens with Jim Harbaugh, because the NFL season, we got 3 weeks here left, Jack. Let me know when the last NFL regular season games are, right? So we got this weekend, right? Then we got the weekend after that. I'm guessing they're that weekend of the 7th, right? Will be the last games, January 7th for there. So once that happens, NFL teams still have to go through like the interview process. They've got Rooney rules. They've got to interview minority candidates. They got to go through these different rules, and teams that might be targeting for coaches might be in the playoffs. They've loosened those rules. So JJ might have to make his decision before Jim really has the opportunity to accept or decline any NFL jobs. Now, if Jim signs a contract today, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, then I think it improves the chances. But I don't know if they're necessarily intertwined. What I think would push JJ out is if Jim Harbaugh definitely left. Like, let's say he accepted a job with the Bears on like January 11th before JJ has to make a decision, then I do think JJ decides to go head on to the NFL. Great question, though, from Ken Canyon. Next question coming in from Sean Elliott and Chef Maine. I see that question. I want to answer that question in the live chat. Just put it back in there or use hashtag Michigan unless Jackie can find it and put it up there. Sean Elliott says, what impact will Harbaugh's decision have on potential flips or late signing day in February, right? You got Gatelyn Bear, right? The linebacker who's going to go on a 2-year mission, Mormon mission, in 2024 and 2025. So be a true freshman in 2026 as like a 20, 21-year-old. But nevertheless, he's the fastest player in high school football this year. He's a borderline 5-star wide receiver, like top 50 or so player in the country. I expect him, he's already decommitted from Boise State. I expect him to commit to Michigan in January, early February, at latest by that February 7th signing day. If he doesn't, I mean, that's somebody they could lose, right? He might flip and go over to Oregon. They have a better, more stable quarterback position, more stable coaching in the future. That's his other school, Michigan and Oregon. For transfer portal, though, I think it would all come down to how fast they name a new coach. If it's Sharon Moore, I do think that Michigan could salvage this recruiting class, not everybody ask out of their national letter of intent, or still get a few high-level players for the transfer portal. But if Harbaugh lets it string out for weeks and weeks, I think it could be a bad thing for Michigan. Let me ask you guys this question. Help me get to know you guys better. What year did you become a Michigan football fan? Or even what year do you remember becoming a Michigan football fan? The first year you remember. I'm going to go do an ad read here. We've got to pay the bills, so I'm going to do an ad read. So while I'm doing this ad read, of course, support the sponsor too, but go in the live chat, go in the comments if you're watching later on. Let me know what year you became a Michigan football fan. I think mine is 1991, Desmond Howard, Elvis Gerback, and come back up and listen to the end of this ad read from Prize Picks, my favorite app. It's the easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. All you do is you pick more or you pick less on player stats to win up to 25 times your money. Let's take a look at my picks this week on Prize Picks. I've already done it. They put them in there so you can go make these picks right now for the Rose Bowl, any college football bowl game, right? I'm going more for J.J. McCarthy, 16.5 rushing yards. That's preposterously low, I think. I think it'll end up going up from there, but right now, 16.5. I'm going more for Jalen Milroe, right? 32.5 rush yards for him. I think Michigan's going to stop him from having any passing opportunities. He'll get his yards on the ground. How about Colson Love then, right? I'm making 5 picks on this one. I'm going more than 36.5 receiving yards. I think he's going to be the difference maker for Michigan. Less for Blake Corum, and I'll tell you why in our live show or what to watch for the Rose Bowl. Less than 71.5 yards for Blake Corum, and then less than 53.5 receiving yards for Jermaine Burton, Alabama's best wide receiver. I put $25 in this, right? I took my Prize Picks winning out, left my $25 in it. I'm letting it all right on this. I'll tell you what, man, if I win this bet, right, this Prize Picks, I will continue to let that ride into the national championship game as well. Those 5 picks, if they all come true, right, just more or less, I'm winning 10 times my money. $250. I put in 25 to win $250. Why I love Prize Picks? It's very simple. I'll put it on the screen here. It's you versus the numbers. You're not playing other your players. You're not playing against daily fantasy experts. You can mix and match sports, right? I could have Michigan basketball, Michigan football. I could have NBA, NFL, college football, NFL on one selection, right? Is Matthew Stafford going to have touchdowns more or less than 1.5? And is J.J. McCarthy going to have more or less than 1.5 touchdowns? Stuff like that. Reboot policy, if you get an injury in the first half, they don't return, takes it out of the submission. You're not, dinged for someone to have an injury. And then flex play. You saw that on my screen. They're giving me, if I get 4 of those 5 correct, I still win 2 times my money. If I get 3 of the 5 correct, I don't win, all my money back, but I get 40%, 0.4x my money. So quick math, that's like $12 or something like that. $10, I'm sorry, on back on that $25 Prize Picks entry. The link is in the comments and the description to get up to a $100 deposit match with Prize Picks. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS. It's in the description. It's in the comments. It's in the live chat. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS for up to $100 deposit match. Use PrizePicks. I love it, and you will too. Question coming in from Connor Stallion Secretary. Is that Blake Corum? I think it's Blake Corum. I get the joke here, right? I think, they had that LLC together that Blake Corum denied happens. I get the joke. what are Michigan's top advantages and disadvantages in this game? We've got, I think, my disadvantage from another segment we're doing later on in this live show. So let's toss those up here, Jack. They got them up there for me. Good. Experience and depth, right? Michigan, I'm going to do 2 for each school right now, for each team. Michigan's advantage over Alabama is their experience and their depth. You've got a quarterback who has started in one, played big minutes in another, third college football playoff, right? Alabama doesn't have that, right? You get wide receivers who have started, have seen their plays, their touchdowns be pulled away by a referee in Roman Wilson. You've also got these guys who went on the road, beat Ohio State 3 straight years, home, away, home, and depth, right? Too deep across the entire defensive line. I think Alabama's may have more talented starters at certain positions. Michigan's got better depth at maybe every position. I think the 2 deep, the first deep, you combine them together, maybe other than quarterback, because Alabama maybe is a better, more proven backups, and then potentially offensive line as now Michigan's down Zach Zinter, and I don't know after the 5th, 6th, 7th guy how deep this offensive line really is at this point. Next up, I think Michigan's got the advantage of quarterback, right? People seem to forget how damn good J.J. McCarthy has been this season and really want to blame the last 3 or 4 games, right, without Jim Harbaugh. Injured, had a knee injury, an ankle injury. From what he said this week in the press, he's feeling up to 100%, and I think Michigan's going to base their game plan around J.J. McCarthy. Somebody whispered in my ear some days, like, hey, remember Colin Kaepernick in the NFL playoffs, the Harbaugh? Keep an eye out for that. Jalen Milroe, he beat Georgia. He's got some decent stats, but it's a lot of, it's taking sacks, turnovers, Hail Mary balls to wide receivers who come down against schools like Coastal Carolina, whoever scrub team they're playing the early of the year, and then the week before the Auburn game. How about on the other side, right? Nick Saban. That is a huge advantage. No matter what we think about Jim Harbaugh, some people want to say he's the best coach in college football, the best coach in any level of football. He went to the Super Bowl. He went to the college football playoff 2 times. He went to 3 NFC championship games, 3 college football playoffs. Okay. Nick Saban's won 7 national championships. He's won 6 at Alabama. That's just an advantage. It frankly is. No matter who is on this team for Alabama, they still have Nick Saban. He's got an absurdly winning record. I think his record's like 9-4 in college football playoff and national championship games in this CFP era. He almost never loses. I think the only one he's lost is that first year, 2004, to Ohio State. Hopefully, Michigan kind of matched Ohio State, beat Alabama in the CFP in the first year, and then Michigan beats Alabama in the CFP the last year of the 4-team playoff. And then, just in general, this one's so hard to quantify. It's just SEC results in this college football playoff, right? I mean, last year, Georgia won their game against Ohio State. 2 years ago, Georgia and Alabama won their games in the college football playoff. And they faced off in the national championship game, right? Back in 2020, Alabama won the national championship game over Ohio State. Go back to 2017, Alabama against Georgia. LSU is the national championship game. So it seems like every single year, I mean, frankly, I can't remember if there's been a single year other than Oregon, Ohio State, that you haven't had an SEC championship team in the championship game. 15, 16, 17, 18, yes, 19, yes, 20, yes, 21, yes, every single year, 8 straight years an SEC team has been in the national championship game, and the only year it hasn't happened is Ohio State beat Alabama, so hopefully Michigan can match that and overcome these advantages that Alabama has over this Michigan team. Kason Scott, he says, I wonder what the excuse is going to be when Michigan wins the national championship. And that's got to be a motivating factor for this Michigan coaching staff, is to talk to the players like this, like, give everything you got in this game. Every single minute counts. Every play counts. Every practice counts. Every focus. I mean, I was trying to watch like 15 minutes of Jalen Milroe highlights. After like 4 minutes or so, I got pretty bored. They can't get bored, right? I got to have focus. They got to have focus. But if you lose to Alabama, and especially if you lose bad like Georgia a couple years ago, if it turns out Alabama were to win this game like 35-11 or something like that, like it was in 2021 to Georgia, all you're going to hear is, okay, cool, Michigan beat Big Ten teams, but Connor Stallions is the reason all this stuff happened. So motivate this team. Shut people up. You beat Alabama. You beat the SEC champion, right, who just beat Georgia. Crickets is what's going to happen after that. Crickets from Big Ten fans now. Let's get crickets from every college football hater out there. Kyle Jondon. Is it Jondon? Or is it Johnson? It's Jondon. It's a crazy last name, but I like it. What scares you the most about playing Alabama? I mean, I guess it's probably Nick Saban, right? He's going to have 4 weeks and 2 days, 30 days, to come up with a game plan to beat Michigan. On the other side, Jim Harbaugh has lost 6 straight postseason games, in the bowl season, right? He's won 3 Big Ten championship games, lost 6 straight. postseason games, including both playoff games, right? There's no excuse Michigan should have lost last year to TCU. They were clearly not prepared to beat and win that game. And Jack and I interviewed some TCU players at the National Championship Game Media Day, and they said as much. They didn't think Michigan was prepared. They thought Michigan, was super easy to scout. If this guy was in the game, we knew it was a run. If this guy was in the game, we knew the pass going this way. That just can't happen this year. So what scares me most about him is Nick Saban. And then Jalen Milroe scares me some in the fact that Michigan hasn't faced a quarterback as big as him who can run like him. Got to come up with a game plan. You can, but it's just different. And last but not least, they have 4 or 5 first-round level talents starting for them on their secondary. Maybe the best freshman in the country in Caleb Downs, 2 All-American cornerbacks, and then Dallas Turner, potentially the best defensive end in all of college football. If you guys have yet to do so, subscribe to the Michigan Football Report. We're doing a 2.5-hour, 3-hour live show on signing day. We'll have one more live show a week from now. If you're watching on the weekend, it'll be Wednesday night. Next Wednesday, we'll maybe night. I don't know what time you think we should do it. We'll see. Wherever you guys want, we'll have a last final live show of the year next Wednesday. Subscribe to the channel as we just passed 30,000 subscribers here on the show. We were the number 1 in September, October, November. Let's make it December as well. Number 1 most consumed show on YouTube, podcast, radio, or TV that covers Michigan football. That's a fact. I've got the numbers to prove it. And I really appreciate everyone who's joined the ride. YouTube.com/Michigan TV. Smash that subscribe button. Our guy Jacksonville Zoe is on the hard hat. Help get Jack to Indianapolis, to Houston with a $50 super chat. He says, really nice linebacker addition from Maryland. His stats should be better next year in a Jesse Minter defense. This broke as we were live here on our signing day special. Jayshon Barham, right? 2 years at Maryland, 2-year starter, was a top 150 recruit coming out of high school, right? Number 30 ranked recruit overall. Out of St. Francis in Baltimore, Maryland, where Michigan has really, really dominated and got some of the best players over the past 4 or 5 years. Biff Poggi's old stomping grounds. 96 tackles in 2 seasons. Was like a freshman All-American level player in 2022. Stepped back a little bit in 2023. Had to sit out a couple games. And he's got some pretty good stats, though. 7 sacks on his career. He was the guy, if you guys remember, and it took me a second when I heard the name and then saw, oh, yeah. He was the guy who intercepted J.J. McCarthy at the end of the second quarter, when Michigan was driving to put the game against Maryland. They really kept them in the ball game, right? He interviewed J.J., spied him a little bit, and just read J.J.'s eyes, popped back, intercepted him about the 2-yard line. So big addition for Michigan. 4-star player, top 150 player in the 2022 class. 2 seasons at Maryland. Going to come over to Michigan, have 2 seasons of eligibility. Big time pickup for these Wolverines. Chef Maine coming in saying, I'm just waiting on Domani Jackson to commit to us. So got some news on Wednesday morning, Sunday morning, that Michigan certainly has made contact with Domani Jackson, but they have got players on the case right now. Will Johnson, of course, right, is on the case. So Mike Sainristil is reaching out to him, right, talking about how he could play at Michigan, how he could up his game, how much his NFL stock has changed in this Jesse Minter defense, right? 2 seasons there. I don't know if you've got a better player in Michigan's defense over the last 2 years than Mike Sainristil. So I think if I had to put odds in right now, I would say better than not odds that Michigan will land Domani Jackson, right? Top 10 player in the 2022 class with Will Johnson, buddy with Will Johnson. And if you guys remember, one of the fastest track athletes in the history of the state of California, broke their 100-meter record as a high school junior. So my money's on Michigan getting him at this point, but Alabama's going to make a big push for him, one of his finalists as a recruit. And then his main recruiter has went from USC over to Georgia. So certainly the Bulldogs, if that relationship is still strong, will have a chance to land Domani Jackson. Take a look at our super chat menu, our show menu. So we just wrapped up our Q&A number 1. Thank you so much, everyone who contributed to add their questions. Really fun to see everyone who participates in the show. I'm seeing some questions here. It's pretty funny. When did you become a Michigan football fan? I'll give some shout-outs on that. 1976 says Rick. Around 1977 says Ken Kenyon. Jacksonville Zoe, 1982. Kason Scott. The Jordan Lewis Air Jordan one-handed interception against Wisconsin. Chef Maine says he was from Kentucky, and the only person in my family is a Michigan fan. He's the only person. Ever since I was born, I was bleeding blue in 2001. So, man, so he's like 22 years old. He's been bleeding Michigan blue since that entire time. Sean Elliott says 1981. Cortez says the Anthony Carter catch versus Iowa. to catch up, thinking about, I think it was against Indiana, if it's the one 45 yards as time expired. But maybe there's one against Iowa that I don't know about. Alex Novak says 2004. The Chad Henne, Mike Hart, Braylon Edwards year. 1991 for Pulaski, same as me. J.W. Fackler says he basically vaguely remembers the 89 Rose Bowl. Cortez, 1979. Jacksonville, Zoe, no live show after we beat Alabama. I'll be at the game, Jacksonville, so I'll be there. I probably won't be able to do live because of cell phone coverage and everything, but as soon as I get back to the hotel, which probably takes 2 hours or something like that, given the traffic in and out of the Rose Bowl. But I'll be back on Wednesday, maybe Wednesday night, the 3rd, or potentially that Thursday when Michigan beats them. But I'll still do content from the hotel room. Jack will be back here at the production center. We'll have that going there. Mark Machkowski, what happened to all the pundits saying Michigan was number 1 all year? Maybe think means wasn't number 1 or was? I'm not sure, but that's what it is. Phil Newsom says Dez, the diving catch against Notre Dame in 1991, and Marcus says 1980. Mark says the keys to every natty, it's defensive, the tackles and the quarterback, D-tackles and the quarterback. That could be it. We still got 4 segments to go here in the Michigan Football Report. Super Chat menu. If you want to contribute to the show, you can send it Jack to Houston with me. I got the corporate travel approved. They denied Jack because, hey, 2024, economy, all that good stuff. But they said we could raise money. And what's the number at, Jack? We're 200 and what? $290 away. 240, yeah, okay, 240. Ashley Lawson's contributed 50 twice. Jacksonville's owing this one, so if you want to help, send Jack a little Christmas present to Jack for producing every single show the last 2 seasons, almost every show. $5 will answer your question live. $10, you'll be on our end screen for the next season, and it'll get your name on one of our hard hats. We're a hard hat rocking crew. Let me get the Michigan logo in front. Boom. Where's the logo? Oh, right there. Yeah. Boom. And then $50 sent Jack. If anyone wants to see a father of 2 have to do a Murbanga, beer bongs in use, so do Murbanga for full beer. That's a $100 super chat. Speaking of beer, let me ask you guys, what is your Christmas drink of choice? We're talking about Christmas afternoon, Christmas morning, whatever it is. It's fine. It's fine. Go to the bathroom. Yeah. Jack's going to do a quick bathroom break, and then we're going to do our Michigan-Alabama breakdown in a couple minutes. And then before that, we'll go over the recruiting class one more time. Denied, Jack. Who's going to drive you over home after the celebration? Well, that's true. I guess I'll have to take an Uber. Let me know what your Christmas drink of choice. I think it's probably, for me, and I do drink. So, if you don't drink, give me a D in the live chat. But I do. It's probably mimosas in the morning. So I guess that's champagne. They'll probably fall between liquor and wine. I guess maybe technically wine. And then it goes to nothing in the afternoon, and then evening, whether you've had a guest over, you're traveling, you sit around, you watch some football, watch some basketball, Christmas, you're kind of winding down. I'll probably mix myself like a White Russian, or, for Thanksgiving, we had people over at a party at our house at the evening. The drink of choice was not Moscow Mules. What's the other one? The tequila drink that they make. I'm just forgetting what it's called. With the seltzer water tequila. If you guys know, say in the live chat, just forget the name. Mark says mimosa all day. Ashley says usually be wine, but this year she will not be drinking this year, so nothing for her. Ken says don't drink. Garrett Edwards says a good old whiskey cocktail. Jacksonville Zoe is a D on that one. German boot or English yard. Weed for Lord of Drinks. So Lord of Doinks, I got you. He says weed, so shout out to him for enjoying a little bit of the devil's lettuce, as they call it. I stick to the grandpa's cough syrup, but I don't slight anybody who participates elsewhere. Steve is giving me a beer. Our guy Steve Ricard. We think we pronounced it, but we just said our guy Steve. DD and Hungry is giving me a W as a wine guy. Phil, eggnog with rum. Herman is a liquor guy. Some margaritas. And then Mark says good friends and a bottle of wine. So that is some of those coming in there. Jack is taking a quick bathroom break. And then we will be back. I'm going to go over everything we need to know about this Michigan football recruiting class here in a moment. Also talk about Jayshawn Barham from Maryland, who just now transferred to the University of Michigan in the transfer portal, has committed to Michigan. So a lot of things to talk about. We'll go over the entire recruiting class. We'll tell you everything you need to know on this signing day, which used to be a bigger deal. I think, in my mind, it used to be a bigger deal. But as of now, as of lately. It's kind of become overshadowed by the College Football Playoff, kind of been overshadowed a little bit by the fact that transfer portal has dominated the news cycle in the month of December over the last 2 or 3 seasons. All right, Jack is back. Jack, we ready to go talk about this Michigan football recruiting class? Show some love to these Michigan football recruits. Say again? Yeah, so we're going to do this now. Before we get into our next segment, if anyone wants to participate in the raffle, I want to do a 50-50 raffle. You can Venmo me. Do we have the picture of the Venmo as well, Jack? Do we bring that over? No? Okay, so it's at James-Yoder-1. So I'm gonna put that in the live chat as well. 50-50 raffle. We've done this a few times, but it will be for a duck race. So entry is $10. Once we get 10 people, I guess that's once we get like 8 people. The goal is 10 people. Once we get 8, so it's at least $40 to the winner. 50-50. We've got to do it through Venmo, so I can Venmo you the money back, and so YouTube doesn't take their 30% cut on top of the 50-50 cut. So how do you do your username there on Venmo? Like, what's the link for it? I guess I don't know how to do that. So wanted to paste that in the live chat. But nevertheless, this is my 50-50 raffle. So anyone wants to Venmo $10, we'll do a duck race with the people who join. So you see who the winner is, and I'll Venmo half of the winnings back to you here on the Michigan Football Report signing day special. So how do you, what's it look like, Jack? How do you do someone's name on Venmo? I want to put the link in there, but I guess you could just do it. It's at James-Yoder. I'll just put the link in the chat as well. Oh, yeah. So that's actually a pretty good point. So here's another promise. So anyone who joins the 50-50 raffle, $10 Venmo right now to at James-Yoder-1. I found the link. So there you go. Here it is. There's the link right there. James-Yoder-1 on Venmo. You got to add a U, like for user, in the URL. That's where I was messing up. Jack and I will send you a Christmas card. So anybody who gets it gets something. We'll take a picture. We'll get it printed out really nice. Merry Christmas. We'll send it to you. We'll get your address off of Venmo afterwards. We'll send you a Christmas card. So send a $10 Venmo if you want to join our first 50-50 raffle snowman race. Right, Jack? We're going to do a snowman race. Do you want to play one of the ones in the past? Why don't we show the people one of the ones in the past really quick? Not just the one we did, but maybe one of the ones in the past. So send $10 Venmo, and we will do a 50-50 raffle coming up here in a few. And everyone who contributes $10 or more will get to Venmo. Will get a Christmas card from Jack and I. We'll do it, today or tomorrow. Send it off to you. Hopefully, have it next week before the Michigan-Alabama game. Jack, this is from a few weeks back. It's one of our races. I want to make sure everyone knows what they're getting into. Roll that tape. Start your engines. On your mark. Get set. Go! They're off to the races. James Strange in the green car with an early lead, followed by Luke Hagmeyer, Ashley Lawson, Jack Lautaret. Oh, James Yoder takes a little bit of a lead. Now it's back to James Strange. It's James 1 and James 2. John Bailey, John Carnahan, and Luke Hagmeyer falling a little bit behind up at the top of your screen. James Strange is holding on with under 40 seconds left in here in this go-kart race. One of the great races in all time in this show. It is neck and neck. Down the stretch they come. It is anyone's race at this point. Bailey, Carnahan, Hagemeyer, Lawson, Strange, Yoder's falling back. Jack Lautaret taking the lead. Now he's falling back. It's Luke Hagemeyer's race. But now who's going to be? 15 seconds. This is anyone's race. John Bailey, Ashley Lawson. Ashley Lawson's got it. 7, 6. Carnahan's pulling ahead. Lawson, Carnahan, Strange. Who's going to win? It's a neck and neck finish. Who won? Who won? I don't even know. It's a photo finish. John Bailey is your winner. Can we get a replay on that? Can we get a replay? Strange? Oh, my God. I got to pull it up to see this. James Strange won? All right, so there we go. So we'll give you guys a little scene. So 50-50 raffle. We've got a few Ashley Lawson, Nick Chrisman, and Ben Curl, Amy Savage. So we got 4 submissions right there and there. So need about 3-4 more at least to get a 50-50 raffle. Nick Chrisman, I see you. Ashley Lawson, I see you as well. Jack, I'll slack you. You got Ashley's name on there, but I'll send you how you spell Nick Chrisman as well. And then I sent you those 2 other ones. So there are a couple there. in the there. So we'll do that after this next segment. Before we do, I want to ask you guys a question, though. What is your preferred uniforms against Alabama, right? What are your preferred uniforms? What do you hope Michigan wears against the Crimson Tide in the Rose Bowl? I'm going to go traditional on this one, right? I'm going to go traditional. Go back to what they wore in the Rose Bowl, January 1, 1998, the last time Michigan won a national championship. So let me know what you guys are preferring there. Type 1 for the All Blues, type 2 for traditional, which I'm going to do. I'm going with the 2, like my guy, Rick Harford. I see you, Jacksonville Zoe. We'll get that question up on our next mailbag. Ken Kenyon saying 2 as well. Or do you want him to wear the All Maize? That's only been worn once in Michigan football history. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I'm seeing a lot of 2s so far coming in here. Richard Ash is joining the 50-50 raffle as well. So at James-Yoder-1, James-Yoder-1, if you want to join the 50-50 raffle, which we'll do probably coming up right after this next segment. I'll put the link to that in the live chat. James-Yoder-1 on Venmo. A picture is me, blurry picture of me with my son. The picture's like 7 years old, since he's 7 years old, as a baby, to know it's the right person. Richard Ash, Nick Crispin, Ashley Lawson, Ben Curl, a couple other ones. That is there. Mostly 2s. I think I've only seen 2s coming in here. PKK, Richard A. See you in the Venmo. Max Powers saying 2 as well. So it's pretty much unanimous. Michigan to wear the traditional maize pants, blue uniforms coming up. We ready to do a recruiting and transfer portal segment, Jack? All right. Let's get this bad boy going. Our Michigan 2024 recruiting class recap, all on the Michigan Football Report live signing day special right now. Michigan got themselves a commitment, not from a 2024 recruit, but maybe even better than some 2024 recruits, a transfer portal recruits. We're leading that on our Michigan Football Report signing day recruiting recap, because this happens on signing day. Jadyn Davis, he's going to have 2 years of eligibility left, was a top 150 player out of St. Francis High School in Maryland. Biff Pochi fame that Michigan's kind of got a lot of players. Really, not everybody they wanted, but a stud every year or two for the last 6-7 years. 96 tackles, 7 sacks, an interception, and a forced fumble in his 2 years at Maryland. Now, what's interesting about that one interception is it was of one J.J. McCarthy right before halftime, as Michigan was really about to put that game away. Kept Maryland in the game after that, because if Michigan scores a touchdown there, they're up by 3 scores at halftime. Game is a completely different monster going into the second half. So we have now, for 2 straight years, Michigan has taken a starting linebacker from a Big Ten counterpart. Last year was Ernest Hausman, Nebraska, true freshman, coming over with 2 to 3 years of eligibility, 2 or 3, depending on what he does. Played pretty good this year. And then Jadyn Davis from Maryland, who have 2 years of eligibility, the number 130 recruit in the 24/7 Sports Composite in the 2022 class. 2 years at Maryland, has committed to Michigan in the transfer portal. Big-time addition. He'll be in the starting lineup or maybe the 3rd linebacker for the 2024 season. I'm loving this one. Type Go Blue if you are a Michigan football fan. Let me know down in the comments, because we have had a lot of haters from Alabama, including our other employees, in our live chat and comments. So give me a Go Blue. It's the Michigan Football Report by Chat Sports. Let's get into our 2024 recruiting class right now. Your 2024 National Signing Day. Michigan's got 27 players in the transfer portal, and you could have the 27 best days of the year with Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Use promo code GOBLUE for 20% off and free shipping. They've got the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. They've got the Platinum Package 5.0 Ultra. Amazing male grooming products. Make great holiday gifts. If you forgot somebody in your shopping list, go to manscaped.com. Use promo code GOBLUE, 20% off. Get the guys in your life or yourself a great gift this holiday season. All right, some more news here on signing day. Lugard Edokpayi commits to Michigan. The number 220 player in the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings was down to Michigan, Minnesota, Maryland, and Rutgers. Was really in the mix with Florida State and Texas A&M a month or so ago. Michigan made a late push, offered him on November 8th, the day after he put a tweet out that said his top 5 were other schools, and had him on campus. Got the deal done. He is the 27th member and the 6th highest rated member of this 2024 Michigan recruiting class, which is ranked 16th on the 24/7 Sports Composite, 16th best class in this cycle. Well, look, I don't think anybody needs to be down on that by any means. I think that Michigan has shown over the past 3 seasons that they don't need to have a top 3 or 4 class every single year to beat Ohio State again, to win the Big Ten championship, to make the college football playoff. Let's take a look at who is coming in this Wolverines recruiting class. And it's a very talented class for Jim Harbaugh. I guess it would be his 10th recruiting class, maybe 9th full recruiting cycle for this season. You've got Jordan Marshall and Jadyn Davis. The interesting thing about those two, the thing that I think you want to consider going forward with Michigan is this the duo of the future, right? Is this the two players at running back and quarterback in Davis and Jordan Marshall that continue beating Ohio State, that can continue winning Big Ten championships, going to the college football playoff, can backfill whether it's next season, even as true freshmen, or 2025, J.J. McCarthy and the combo of Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. Also, you got Andrew Sprague, big-time player. We'll see what he does here at the University of Michigan. He is a 6'8", 295 pounds. Yes, you heard me right. 6'8", 295-pound offensive tackle. Now, if that's actually his size, we'll have to see once he gets on campus out of Kansas City, Missouri, number 112 player in the country. Also, Brady Prieskorn, tight end out of Rochester, Michigan. One of the best tight ends in the country. They got him with the number 11 tight end. I think he could even be ranked higher than that. Maybe the next Colston Loveland for these Wolverines. Continuing on, Blake Frazier. You've got the offensive tackle, 6'5", 260, out of Austin, Texas, number 170 in the country. A little undersized at this stage of the game, but if he puts on 20, 25 more pounds, he will have the body to be an offensive lineman in Jim Harbaugh and Sharon Moore's system. Jacob Oden, the athlete, 6'1", 188, number 280 in the country, out of Harper Woods, Michigan. Another athlete, Jaden Smith, who I don't know where to put him. He could be a safety, he could be a linebacker. Hell, he could be a wide receiver, or more likely a potential defensive end or edge, number 284 out of Charlotte, North Carolina, in this 2024 recruiting class. Then you got Hogan Hansen, great name, Bellevue, Washington, another tight end, another 4-star. Michigan loading up on replacements for Colston Loveland and A.J. Barner down the road, although both those players, Colston Loveland for sure, maybe A.J. Barner will return in 2024. Amarian Stewart, undersized, 5'10", I think is a potential early impact player. Maybe not a wide receiver, but we had some of those bubble screens, punt returning, end around. Mason Curtis, right? Linebacker, athlete. It's tough to see what they say. I think he ends up there at a linebacker for Michigan. 6'4", 200 pounds. Could beef up and go on the inside, maybe be a defensive tackle in the future. And then we've got the all-name team for this Michigan football program. Josiah Edmond, cornerback, a position of great need for Michigan in the future. Number 344, he's 6'1", 180. We'll continue on this Michigan Football Report recruiting special. If you're excited for this recruiting class, look, I am. Right, you got 18 players who are 4 stars or higher out of 27. So it's not a top 5 class, but I think it is very deep. It addresses a lot of needs, right? Cornerback, tight end, quarterback, running back, offensive line, all over the place, defensive line, all over the place. Like, this is a stacked class. I would guess that 15 or more of these players make big-time impacts by, the second, third year in this program. So I'm excited. Give us a like in this video. Don't jinx it, right? Make sure you put out the good vibes. Don't jinx it. You're getting the good vibes out in these players so they make an impact on the field for Michigan. Michigan ranks in the recruiting rankings across the different services. Number 16, the composite all together there by 27 Sports. They put it together. 24/7 Sports has Michigan in their own rankings, number 15, and that's pretty consistent right here. ESPN 15. Rivals has Michigan at number 12, and On3, the new boys on the block, have Michigan there at the number 16 class in the country. So those are the class rankings from the different services for this Wolverines recruiting class. I'll ask you guys this question, though. Grade Michigan's recruiting class A, B, C, D, or F. If you're an amateur, give me an A, B, C, D, or F. But if you're a pro, you can give me a B plus, a B minus, an A minus, whatever you want. You can do plus or minuses, but you can be a pro, just have a solid A, B, C, D, or F grade. I was going to go with a B minus, right? Because the lack of just the elite players, the Will Johnsons, the J.J. McCarthys, maybe even the Donovan Edwards. But nevertheless, I think that this is a B class with the recruitment, the commitment today. So I'm going with a B, solid B, so it makes me maybe an amateur. Maybe you guys think it's B minus, A minus. Let me know in the live chat or the comments. Let's go through this entire recruiting class. We kind of highlighted some of those top guys, so I won't spend too much on time on them. But here, right on screen, their rankings on the right side, their position, and those rankings are in the 24/7 Sports composite. Top 5 players in this Michigan football recruiting class. Now, then it continues on, right? Michigan will go 6 through 27 here in a second. But, Jack, you know what I want to talk about first beforehand? I want to talk about our good friends at Manscaped. It's just the best gift to give this holiday season. We gave one away on our Michigan Football Report live show, and you need to get going with Manscaped because the leaders in below-the-waist grooming have just launched the 5th-generation performance package to help you avoid another silent night in the bedroom this year. You got to take care of the fellas in your life or take care of yourself. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra includes the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, which just launched a few months ago, and you can watch your South Pole shine like never before if you use the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. The Manscaped Performance Package 5.0 Ultra has loads of items. You see them right on the screen. It is amazing. It's an awesome value, and you get 20% off. This bundle together normally sells like $258 individually. Package on the website, $139.99 plus 20% off. So you're paying, what, quick math there, you're paying about $116 for this amazing package. An amazing gift to give somebody, and get 20% off with promo code GOBLUE. Link is in the comments. Link is in the description, and we'll have the link in the live chat here on the Michigan Football Report. That was the one, Jack, right there with the prices. You just toss that one back up. Show the people. $139.99, slash it, chop it. My math is off. $111.99 with the 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped.com. Link is in the comments, descriptions. Use promo code GOBLUE. Support the show. They want to keep working with us and get yourself 20% off. Continue rolling. Today's commit, Lugard Edokpayi from Maryland. He is a defensive end, number 222 player overall in this class. A big addition. Took my class ranking from a B- to a B. Jacob Bowden, Jaden Smith, Hogan Hansen. Big-time tight end. I think he's going to be on the field next season, honestly. I really think he will be. And then Imarion Stewart out of Chicago. A little bit undersized, a little tad undersized, but could be a future Samaj Morgan or AJ Henning, that type of player for his first year or two until he gets some wets his beak a little bit, get him on the field as a wide receiver in year 2 or potentially even in year 3. Make sure you guys are following me on Twitter. It is at James Yoder. When we get a chance, Jack, toss a link to my Twitter account in the live chat. But you guys watch it on demand. Later on Wednesday, we'll post this video on the channel. Go ahead and follow me. The link is down in the comments and description, or just type at James Yoder there on Twitter. And you'll get nonstop Michigan football tweets, including while I'm out in California, December 28th through January 2nd. Let's take a look at the top recruiting classes in this 2024 cycle. Georgia is winning the day so far. 27 commits. Even though they lost their quarterback, the 5-star quarterback, Dylan Iola, they have continued to dominate under Kirby Smart. Then it's Alabama, who stole a 5-star defensive end from Ohio State today. Florida State, Ohio State falls from, they were kind of up there for number 1 class. They fell all the way to number 4 with a kind of rough last couple days. Texas, Oregon, Miami, the NIL boys, right there, those 3. Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and then Florida. Next out, 11 through 20 at Auburn. LSU with 27 commits. Clemson, Tennessee, Penn State. Continue to recruit well under James Franklin. Michigan, then USC, South Carolina, Nebraska, and Texas A&M. So you got 16, 17, and 19 there. Little Big Ten flair. USC, because all of these guys will play in the Big Ten. Penn State. So 4 of those 11 through 20 are Big Ten teams. If you guys have yet to do so, subscribe to the Michigan Football Report. We are 1 subscriber away from 30,100. So that means we are 901 away from hitting our next milestone of 31,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button or always come back, youtube.com/MichiganTV. Send the link to your friends. Help spread the gospel of the most consumed Michigan football program on any platform, web, digital, podcast, TV, or radio. Keep it rolling here on this recruiting class. Now, Mason Curtis. Some service have him as an athlete. Some have him as a linebacker. I like him anywhere they play him. He reminds me of one of these guys who's a football player. I think Jim Harbaugh loves football players, guys who love to play football, and that's what Mason Curtis reminds me of. Out of Pittsburgh, you've got Cole Sullivan. He is 6'3", 200 pounds flat on a linebacker. Committed back in May, so number 316 overall in the country. A little under, my opinion, he was a little underwhelming film. I like Mason Curtis' film a little bit more than Josiah Edmond, cornerback, a position of need that Michigan hasn't really recruited at the highest level. They got Jair Hill last year, got Will Johnson a couple years ago, but I think that's an area of need. That's why they had to bring over a transfer portal guy this year to get in the starting lineup. Then you got Devin Baxter over there on the edge. Love his film, love his game. out of Maryland. Jeremiah Beasley, linebacker out of Belleville. Can he be the teammate that pulls Bryce Underwood to Michigan, the top player in the 2025 class? They list Beasley 6'1", 210, linebacker. I don't think he's an early playing guy. He could be on special teams next year, but I still think he's probably 2, if not 3 years out before he makes an impact on the field. He is number 364 in this class. Before we continue the rest of the class, tell you some players who are enrolling early for this Michigan class that we have confirmed that have said they are. It doesn't mean that they definitely will, but some guys can change. A couple of these guys are actually already on campus. Already, Jack, you can go and if your high school is over, you can actually practice with your football team now as they prepare for the college football playoffs. A couple of these guys are doing that. Jadyn Davis, Imarian Stewart, Channing Goodwin, so the high school teammates there down in Charlotte. Brady Prieskorn, I would mess up his name. Hogan Hansen, a couple tight ends, a couple maybe instant impact players. I think one of those guys will definitely be on the field in 2024 in some regard. 6 more early enrollees for Michigan. 7 of the 12 are on offense, and 5 of the 12 there are on defense. Jake Guarnera, the offensive lineman there, is one of them. We continue on. You've got Josiah Edmond, love the name. Dominic Nichols, Jeremiah Beasley come over from Belleville. He'll be on campus. Maybe a bad thing, though. Maybe he doesn't have enough time, doesn't have any more ability to recruit his high school teammate. But we all know that Bryce Underwood is going to make his decision in about 3 weeks on January 6th. Jacob Bowden, also from the state of Michigan, early enrollee. Let me know, you guys, who is the first Michigan recruit that you remember? Had some great answers in the live chat when we asked this earlier in the Signing Day show. So let me know in the comments if you're watching this on demand later or in the live chat. We saw some Drew Henson, Justin Fargas. Mine was Drew Henson. I saw some Justin Fargas, I think, when there. Saw a few people saying Ricky Leach, right, back in the 1970s. Tyrone Wheatley. I saw Rashawn Gary and a few in there. Let me know the first recruit that you remember, right, that ended up coming to Michigan, or Michigan thought they were going to land. Maybe he spurned Michigan, and you always remember him because the fact that he didn't end up on the Wolverines. Let me know down in the comments. Luke Hamilton coming in at the number 16 rated player here for this 2024 Michigan football recruiting class. Yeah, we'll see what we get out of him. I mean, you never can really tell with offensive linemen. I think offensive linemen and defensive linemen are the toughest positions to really project what they're going to do at the next level. But he's out of Avon, Ohio. Didn't buy in. I don't think Ohio State offered him, but didn't even consider Ohio State. So at 6'5", 290, you just like his toughness because he spurned the Buckeyes, went to the winning program in the Big Ten. Continue on. You got Ted Hammond, defensive lineman, number 411 in the 24/7 Sports composite rankings. Jake Guarnera. I love the name. All right, I love the last name for him. Out of Ponte Vedra. His last name and his city, Jack. Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Kind of like Jake Guarnera. It's a little bit of flair on him. 6'4", 290. Interior offensive lineman. So guard, maybe center. If he puts on too much more weight or grows, he's going to outgrow the center position. So maybe he is the next Zach Zinter for Michigan. And then I love this guy, Michael Capana, out of Las Vegas, one of the best high schools in all of college, in all of high school football at Bishop Gorman. He is a hell of a player. He was ranked like 1,100, 1,200 when he committed to Michigan back in June. Had a hell of a senior year. I mean, he's just a jitterbug out there. I mean, he runs with power, he runs with speed, 5'11", 196. If he's not undersized, I don't know what they're missing with him. I think he's at least a 4-star player. They've got him ranked in the composite as a 3-star player, number 34 running back in the country. I think he's a guy who's going to be on the field for Michigan in some regard, whether special teams or maybe at the running back position in 2024. Keep it rolling here. Michigan's got 27 commits. Ben Roebuck out of St. Edward's High School, Lakewood, Ohio, very close to where I grew up. Just one of the true elite high school football programs in the country. He's got some teammates that are committed to Ohio State on that offensive lineman. He spurned Ohio State, put all his focus into Michigan, committed back in March 22nd of 2023, so kind of spring of his junior year in high school. Dominic Nichols, love what we're seeing out of Dominic Nichols. Also love what we see out of Channing Goodwin, right? The high school connection with Jadyn Davis out of North Carolina. His dad, All-American level player in Michigan, All-Pro big player in the NFL. He's not as big as his dad, right? Dad, offensive lineman. He is himself a wide receiver, but I think he's underranked at a 3-star player, number 558 in the country. We'll see if we prove the doubters wrong, right, when he comes to Michigan. And then how about David Pale, just committed to flip from USC to Michigan, 6'3", 305 pounds. I think really early in the live show I said 205 pounds, but committed to USC for a long time, got the flip to Michigan. And 750, he is ranked number 4th lowest rated player in Michigan's class. But you got to offer some USC. You got to offer some Michigan. A bunch of other big schools. I'll trust Michigan's judgment. I'll trust Michigan's defensive line coach over the blog boys who put together these rankings. How about down at the bottom of the rankings for Michigan? You've got Manuel Bigel, number 891. Okay, he's ranked that low. Maybe he ends up making some plays at Michigan. Maybe not. So we'll see how it shakes out. Jeremiah Lowe, cornerback. Some speed on him. Didn't look that bad. I'm not sure why he's ranked so low. Didn't look that bad in the film I saw from him. Out of Lexington, Kentucky, Steve Klinkscale certainly, followed him as a high school recruit back when he was a sophomore, bringing him up to Michigan from the state of Kentucky. He is 5'11", 170 pounds. Then Zach Ludwig, I don't know if he's actually on scholarship or not. Feels like more of a walk-on player to me, but that rounds out Michigan's class. He's the 1,757th ranked player in this class. They say a 3-star, but that's kind of more 2-star territory. Let me ask you guys this question, though. Can Michigan win 2 more games, win the national title? Do you believe they can win the national title? Do you believe? Let me know what you guys are thinking. Type Y for yes or N for no. I see Mark Eastman in the live chat with a yes. Let me know down in the comments if you watch this later on Wednesday night or Thursday, our Michigan football 2024 recruiting class recap. I see Rick Harford as well with a Y. Chef Maine with a Y. Can win Michigan win the national title. Now, where does this class stack up to prior Michigan football classes? Last year, they were number 17 class, so basically on par with where they're at this year. At number 17, they are number 16 this year in 2024. Okay, cool. Year before that, number 9. Back in 2021, number 13, the J.J. McCarthy, Diamond Edwards Jr. Colson class. 2020, number 10. 2019, number 8. So if you see, kind of go back, you have a high-rated class 2020, 2019. But those classes didn't lead to Big Ten championships, right? I mean, a couple of those guys were on the 2021 team, 2022 team, but almost nobody. Maybe Chris Jenkins and a couple other players from 2020 or 2019 are making huge impacts for Michigan this season. So I don't think Michigan fans have to really worry about where this class is ranked as long as Jim Harbaugh, Sherrone Moore, Jesse Minter, as long as his coaching and development staff continues on at Michigan, and Michigan will get the best out of all the players coming in. Let me know down in the comments or in the live chat, have you subscribed to our YouTube channel now? Jack, we should know what you do. We should make the live chat sub-only for the next 10 minutes. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you got to subscribe. Or if you want to comment on the channel, you got to subscribe in the live chat. So anyone in the live chat, you can't type no because I know you're lying. But if you have done so, type yes in the comments if you're watching this later on demand. If you haven't, type no and let me know what we can do to get you to subscribe to the channel, the most watched channel on any platform in 2023. Definitely yes from Rick Harford. Appreciate that. Mark Eastman as well. Josh Sherwood as well. Let's keep this show rolling and talk about the Big Ten. Ohio State's got the number 1 class in the Big Ten. And what is that? Oregon. No, Oregon, right? Oregon is a top 10 class. Would they come number 6 right now, Jack, in the overall 7? 6? No, 6. Oregon, all right, they've got 24 commits in this class. They are the number 2 class in the Big Ten. So if Michigan wants to remain in the top 3 in the Big Ten, an 18-team Big Ten, usually it's them. It's Ohio State 1, Michigan's usually number 2, or Penn State's number 2. It's not like that anymore. You're going to compete with Oregon, compete with USC, sometimes maybe even UCLA, maybe even Washington a year or 2 here, but it doesn't look like Washington's class is that good this year. I don't know. It looks like a pretty rough class for Washington. Nebraska, Wisconsin, Purdue, Iowa, and Rutgers round out the top 10 classes in the Big Ten. Nebraska, maybe with the biggest win of the past week, getting Dylan Viola. Might be a head case, I don't know, but a 5-star quarterback. Minnesota, what would he do, like a poem or something like that? I didn't listen to it to see what he said, but talk about himself in the third person. Jack said it was weird. Washington down there in their first year in the Big Ten, number 12 class at 15 recruits. Maybe if they beat Texas and go on to the national championship game, they'll get a bump in the towards the February sign day. We shall see. Maryland, Michigan just stole one of their best defensive players in the transfer portal. They're struggling still. Number 13 in the Big Ten, 21 commits. Illinois at number 14. How about Michigan State? Give me a boo in the live chat for Michigan State. That program is falling apart at the seams, but they did get themselves a good coach in Jonathan Smith from Oregon State. Hasn't really had any time to recruit. Indiana, UCLA. What a disaster that UCLA is becoming. I mean, how have they not been able to? How can you not recruit UCLA? Right, you're in LA, fun and sun. Chip Kelly's a known commodity, an NFL coach, successful coach at Oregon, went to a national title game. Only 11 commits at UCLA and Northwestern. With all the turnover they have, they just named their new head coach after Pat Fitzgerald got, I think, unjustly fired. They come in at the worst class in the Big Ten. How about this question for you guys as we are wrapping up our recruiting segment? Who will have more years at Michigan going forward, right? J.J. McCarthy, who could only, even if he wanted to, stay one more year, or Jim Harbaugh, right? If Jim Harbaugh is the coach next year, I think he's the coach for a long time. I think it's, maybe I said that we say that every year, right? Oh, he'll be back for the long term. It's the last dalliance in the NFL. Whatever. Who will have more years remaining at Michigan? Jim Harbaugh, give me a JH. J.J. McCarthy, give me a JJ. Or if neither, if you think they're tied at the hip, they're both leaving this year, or they're both leaving after next year. If they're together, just type 0 if it's a tie for 0 or 1 years for those guys together. JH for Jim Harbaugh or JJ for JJ McCarthy. Let's keep things rolling, Jack, as that wraps up our recruiting segment. Jack, while we're on this, can you go give me a refill on this bad boy? We've been live for almost 2 hours, and I am thirsty. I'm just going to get this last sip. Yeah, Bill Graves, I see that boo for Michigan State. Ron McNeil is a yes. I think it was to our last question. Bill Graves says JH. Jeff Main says JH because JJ will come back for 1, but Jim going to sign that contract. JH from Rick Harford. And then Harbaugh stays, JJ stays his senior year. So in that solution, I think that that means that Jim Harbaugh will, because you don't expect Jim to stay for 1 year with JJ, then maybe leave after next year. Although it's not crazy to think that maybe he could leave after next year. That is JJ McCarthy. Jack's, give me a water refill, but we still have a lot to come on this live Michigan football report. I'll kind of give you guys a scoop on what we've got coming up here. So we're going to give one of these away to Jacksonville Zoe. I'm going to check the Venmo here in a second, see if we've got any more Venmos. Might be a good time, Jack, to do our 50-50 raffle. If we got 1 or 2 more Venmos, we'll do that now. We'll see. So, we got Chris. Oh, Jack, we got Chris Lautaret. Your mom's getting in the fray. There you go, Mom. Supporting the show. Well, she's going to get one. So, Chris, Sean Elliott. Yeah, so those, all right, where did I, I'm sending them to Jeremy. Oh, gosh, sorry. I was sending the wrong person. People shouldn't be allowed to have the same name. So, we got, I think we're at 10, if not shortly after. Let me grab, okay, so those 4 I sent, so those 8, and then we've got, I think the only one I didn't have there is Ashley Lawson. So I'll, okay, so we got 9. So 1 more person, right? So it's at James Yoder. 1 more person. We will do this 50-50 duck race. Anybody who sends it, I will respond to you. We'll comment on Venmo. Jack and I are going to take a selfie. We're going to make a really glossy up with Happy Holidays cards. We will send to you. So anybody who sends in a $10 super chat for this 50-50 raffle. So what's happened if you didn't see before, $10 super chats, we get to $100, and then we will do a duck race with your name on it. Whoever wins the duck race gets themselves $50, right? 50 of the $100 that send in. Other 50, we're going to help pay the expenses of the show, pay the lights, et cetera, et cetera. As we have 9 people, we need 1 more in this 50-50 raffle to get it on there. We got Chris Lautaret, Nick Crispin, Richard Ash, Sean Elliott, Phil Schumann, Ben Curl, Amy Savage, Clay Stewart, and Ashley Lawson. We need 1 more Venmo to get this bad boy rolling. It's at James-Yoder1. That's right. It's at James-Yoder1. I'll put the link in the live chat. There you go. Mark Eastman says, "Drink 1 for me, James." I got you, Mark. Maybe we'll do that here in a second. Jack, when you get it going, go. Maybe it's time. It's after. It's almost 3 o'clock Eastern. So when you get a chance, Jack, grab me a Coors out of the local, the most close fridge we've got to us, so I can get the party started. So that is my my Venmo there. In there, 1 more person. We're gonna do another duck race, and then we're gonna get into Michigan Alabama preview. Right? We're going heavy. We're going deep on this race. So everyone who is getting a $10, there we go. It's $10. Travis, we're going to get you on the show here, but if you want to join the duck race, it's got to be via Venmo so we can Venmo it back so YouTube doesn't take their 30%. I'm going to cheers you, though, to Mark Eastman. Drink one for me. Mark, I got you. And Travis Mitchell. I think Travis Mitchell's our longest time. He used to follow just on Twitter and just our website back in the day, Jack. So Travis has been with us for a long time. Put him on there. Working. Oh, there's Steve. There's our guy, Steve. He's on there. I'm in for the race. Steve, you guys send it. Can you send it Venmo? How about this? If we don't get it, we'll add those guys to it because we've hit the $100. So we'll do that. Whoa. We got some breaking news here. Michigan receives a notice of allegation from the NCAA. Okay, so we got some breaking news here. Hold on a second. Get Steve and get Travis on there. We'll do a duck race with them in a second. If you guys can, send it by Venmo, but we're going to appreciate it there. Breaking news here, though. Michigan's received a notice of allegations from the NCAA. I'm trying to get people text me about it, etc. So let's see. Type and see what happens here. Maybe Twitter. So we'll dive into this, Jack. I think this is, depending on what it is, right? Notice of allegations could just be nothing, but let me get Steve, our guy Steve, and Travis at 12:20 for Steve, and I got one for Travis as well, as we're trying to figure out what this story is. Breaking news. I don't know. Let's find out. So if you guys are seeing this, Michigan's receiving notice of allegation. I just got texted, okay, Angelique Shingelis has put out a tweet about, but I don't subscribe to the Detroit News, so I can't log in. It's tough to get information, guys. We really apologize while we're live. So that's the struggle with there. So I'm going to see, Jack, if I can pull this up. Nope, I cannot. So Angelique Shingelis just tweeted out. I got a text on it as well, but we will see what happens here as Michigan got there. So I'm going to get Travis Mitchell, his on there, as we're getting more information, whether this is just could just be, right, notice of allegations on the Counter Stallions, notice of allegations. It doesn't necessarily mean that anything is coming down or Michigan anything new. It just means maybe the NCAA has responded, right, to what they have. So I got to get in on this and figure it out. So Travis Mitchell and Steve, we got you. Travis, I'm going to give you your own spot, the top of the back of the helmet. You're on there. Again, my man, you'll be on the end screen of every video we have. We've got 11 people that are going to be in a duck race here. Steve, I'm going to put you right there below Travis. Got you another one. Our guy, Steve, he's our buddy. He is the friend of the Michigan Football Report. He's helped Jack. He's helping Jack go to Houston. We're only $240 away. So trying to get more information on what's going on. And how about that Rick Herford, #Michigan, greatest football show in the world? We should get that on our next mailbag. So let's find out what is going on with this. And there's not really a ton of news. The only person I got to text him it, and then all we're seeing is this story from Angelique Shingelis. But unfortunately, I am not a subscriber to the Detroit News, so I cannot look at their stuff. So let's see if we can do something like this. No. So we'll get to it in a second. Why don't, Jack, while we're doing this, why don't we do that? Why don't we do the next? What you got? Okay. What do you got? Can you send me anything? Okay. I thought they already got that. So it's about the cheeseburgers, about the recruiting incident, which, I thought they already got that. I thought that was taken care of. I know Michigan took a self-imposed 3-game penalty and, hoping that would make the NCAA go away. But now they've received a notice of allegations. I got a text on it. And then I got a tweet literally 2 minutes apart, like one and then one. Angelique Shingelis tweeted out a minute after that. But as of now, that's all we have for this allegation. So, Jack, if you have that, send it my way so I can kind of have it on screen here. Elon Musk tweeting it out, says Jack. No kidding. I know he owns Twitter. X. Okay. I saw it from her specifically. So why don't we put this on screen if we can, Jack? Let's talk about this. Okay, cool. So Michigan has received a notice of allegations from the NCAA. This is a tweet from the Detroit News. I'll put it in the live chat if you guys want to read it on your own. Yeah, I see Damien as a Detroit News 8 minutes ago, but unfortunately, I can't call anybody to get any scoop on this as we're live on air, nor do I have a subscription to the Detroit News, although I'm sure they do fine work. Regarding its allegations into 4 alleged Level 2 violations that led to a Level 1 allegation against Jim Harbaugh for allegedly lying and misleading investigators. So this is what we knew from 11 months ago, and it led to a Jim Harbaugh internal suspension, self-imposed 3-game suspension. One of the allegations included meeting with 2 recruits during COVID-19 dead period, which, I think one of those recruits, honestly, will shake out to be Donovan Edwards, right? This is like the 2020 recruiting class that couldn't come on campus and all this different stuff in fall of 2020 before they signed in December of 2020. So got someone coming on this, but if anyone, if anyone wants to give me their Detroit News login, I'll take it. I mean, I would. I don't really know if that's allowed to say on the internet, but alas, I am not a Detroit News subscriber. So we'll get that. I don't think it needs to interrupt the show that much, Jack, but maybe after we do this next portion of it, we'll go, let's do the duck race. We got 11 people in the duck race, right? Let's do it there. There is the tweet from the Detroit News, as we just said. Michigan's received a notice of allegation regarding 4 alleged Level 2 violations and a Level 1 investigation. So recruiting, dead period stuff, Zooming with players, watching work out, kind of that. Then Jim Harbaugh allegedly lying, saying he didn't know anything about it, whatever. Cheeseburgers, they find the receipt, what they did, et cetera, et cetera. So that is it. I'm more concerned about the duck race. I'm more interested in the duck race. So the person who wins this duck race is going to get $55. Anyone who doesn't win the duck race, I'm going to message you on Venmo in a couple hours, later this evening or tonight, and get your address. If you feel comfortable with me having your home address, which is fine. If you don't, then give me a P.O. box or tell me to send it to your office or your friend's house, whatever you want. Jack and I are going to make a Christmas card, and we will send you one as a thank you for being a supporter of this show. Joe says, is the NCAA still a thing? Yeah, I don't know a year from now if the NCAA is even going to exist, right? I don't even know if it's going to exist. I'm more interested in this. What do we got, Jack? What for the people? Tell them what we're looking at here.
We got elves, Santa's little helpers. They're gonna run down this yellow brick road. That seems like a parallel between that and Wizard of Oz, but that's a conversation for another day. They're gonna run down this yellow brick path, and whoever wins gets the money.
We got a Florida State fan in the chat. Garnet and gold till I am dead and cold. I like that's pretty good play on words. Garnet and gold till I'm dead and cold. She's saying, or he's saying, gold nose. It looks like I don't know what. Go Nose, go blue. I appreciate that. Go blue, go Nose. Best of luck to you guys. Hope you beat Georgia. I didn't say. I really hope you beat Georgia in the Orange Bowl, I believe. All right, whoever gets this, $55 is on the line. I'll Venmo you right away, and then the rest of you guys look out for an Instagram, a Venmo reply. I'll reply to your $10, and I will get your address. We'll send you a Christmas card that Jack and I will make either today. We'll take a picture today, tomorrow. Jack, I'll send it over to CVS, pick those bad boys up, and mail them on out. Let's start your engines, all right? Let's start our feet. Let's get our feet moving. Guys who are running this race, we got a group. I'm going to give them one more time. Ashley Lawson, Nick Chrisman, Richard Ash, Phil Schumann, Ben Curl, Chris Lautaret, Sean Elliott, Amy Savage, Clay Stewart, and then Steve, our guy Steve, and then Travis Mitchell came through. We let him go in last minute because the last two came in on Venmo. So let's get this going. Jack, you ready? All right, on your mark. Get set. Let's go! We're off to the races. Our little mascots running it there. These are culturally inappropriate mascots, Jack. Who approved this? But that's okay. We got Nick Chrisman at the bottom of the screen. Ben Curl in the middle. It's a tight race. Our guy Steve at the very top of the screen, along with Travis Mitchell, Ashley Lawson, Clay Stewart, Amy Savage. Chris Lautaret is taking a small lead. These guys look slow, Jack. There's no foot speed on any of these people. Sean Elliott is dropped way back in the pack on the Michigan Football Report. 50-50 raffle, $55 in the line as we are under 25 seconds. Chris Lautaret is in the lead, Jack. Chris Lautaret is in the lead. Is the Lautaret family going to hold on to this lead? Chris Lautaret has taken a commanding lead, but Ashley Lawson saying what's up. Ashley Lawson is saying what's up. 10 seconds to go. Can she hold on? Chris Lautaret, Amy Savage, Chris Lautaret. Who's going to win? Amy Savage from out of nowhere gets the win. Amy Savage, $55 out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. Who came in second, Jack? Read off that list to us. Steve, our guy Steve. Second time, Steve. Sorry. Steve, Phil, Richard, Ben, Travis, Nick, Sean. Jack, how did your mom fall from first down to ninth in 2 seconds? Jack, you know what? She's giving up too much of her energy. It's the tortoise and the hare situation, right? You can't give up all your energy in the beginning thing. Ashley Lawson was in second place for a while with your mom. And then Clay Stewart rounds out 11th place. So who won again? It was Amy Savage. So Amy Savage going to send the $55 right now. And then everybody else, keep an eye out. I'll message you later. Or if you want to just reply yourself in advance, send me your address. You're getting a Christmas card from Jack and I. Let me pull up Venmo, send $55. Congrats. All right. We got that bad boy going. So there you go. We have done 2 of our 5 segments. Still got a lot of show to go. Maybe we won't do all those segments since we've already hit 2 hours and 10 minutes live here on the Michigan Football Report with the recruiting class in the past. Let's get down to brass tacks and talk about some Michigan and Alabama. I've been doing a lot of talking. I've been talking to the Harbaugh boys. I'm talking to parents of players that have been, in my circle of trust since some of these players are recruits. I don't know why, Jack. For some reason, parents of football players, they seem to like me for some reason. They tell me things, and I use it to our advantage to inform you people on the Michigan Football Report. So who you got? We got Mark Eastman with an M. We got Richard saying, "Congrats, Amy." I was going to Domite wins the travel fund. I didn't message that, but I'm going to message Amy later. Amy, if you're watching, you want to send that $50 to the Send Jack to Houston Fund. So Chris's mom, who sent a $10 Venmo, she was going to put it towards the Send Jack to Travel Fund, but she's going to get us a Christmas card. So we're going to send out 10 Christmas cards. And Amy, I'll tell you what, Amy, if you send the 50 to the fund, you'll still get a Christmas card too. But if you want to keep the winnings, we promise the winnings. Keep the winnings. All right, we'll get Jack to Houston no matter what. Ashley Lawson, I thought you and Chris had the lead. Just use all your energy in those first 80 yards, last 15, 20 yards. It's a marathon, not a sprint. We got Bill Graves saying M, Jacksonville Zoe saying M. Not very many A's. So I think the people have just basically decided. I think Michigan is going to get this win as well. But we shall see. Jack, toss up the Super Chat menu just one time so we talked about it for a few moments. Make sure everyone knows, if they want to, Super Chat, what that looks like here on the Michigan Football Report. By the way, we already gave away one of these, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. We're going to do one more race, maybe in about 20, 30 minutes from now, to give away a Manscaped beard hedger. So, Jack, add the no, actually, those are all Venmo. So it was Venmo. So I think we've got everybody that's in there, right? Of the race for the Venmos, all the people from last show, right? No, but I think this one was for the duck race, so we don't. That's fine. So I think the people we had is totally fine. Let us know. We have Steve. No, it's Steve. Jacksonville So made the last one, right? Yeah, he won it. So yeah, I think we're good then. I'm saying we're fine. Yeah. I think we're fine. Is what I'm saying. I think we're good. Super chat menu. $5 or more, really any amount, but $5 is what we ask. Put your question live on the show. $10, you get yourself a helmet sticker. Your name is immortalized, and you'll be on the end of year video, our end screen video, for a full year starting in February. Your name will be on there. At the end of about 4 or 5 videos per week. $25, we will do a chant of your name for 60 seconds. We'll make up a song for you. Jack will come up with it maybe, and we'll jump around to your name. You can screen record it, send it to your friends. Send Jack to Houston Fund, which has been the biggest hit today, right? Been the biggest hit today. $50. We got 3 or 4 of those. Jack, how far away are we? What is the number? $240 away to the $1,000 that we estimated it'll take Jack travel, hotel, food, etc. to get to Houston for the national championship game. And then beer bong time. If anyone wants to see a grown man with 2 kids, $100 super chat coming out in the put a Murbanga. That is that. Okay, Jack, we ready to do it? Let me get back to my show script, and I will be ready to rock. It is going to be my keys to a Michigan football victory over Alabama. I got some inside scoop. You guys are really going to want to watch this next segment, which we will put up on the channel probably Friday. If you can't stick around to watch it on demand right now, or you can't watch it right now live, you can watch on demand on Friday. It's Michigan's football's keys to beating Alabama. Let's get it going right now. What does Michigan have to do to beat Alabama, the SEC champion, coached by Nick Saban, 7 national titles, 6 at Alabama, and the best coach in college football history, at least in my opinion. I don't think that's even debated anymore with his 7 national titles. LSU won 6 at Alabama. I've got 5 keys that if Michigan sticks to this game plan, from what I've been told, the team, the players, the coaches is very confident that Alabama is not too big of a team for them to overcome, and they can get the win and end up in Houston on January 8th for the national championship game. Number 1, I love this one, right? This has been whispered to me over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Like, look, JJ's hobbled, right? He's got knee. He's got ankle. He's hurt. That's what happened, right? Okay, everything's mixed up. We're just trying to get wins. We're trying to beat Penn State in the road with less than a day notice. We're trying to get the win. JJ shouldn't even have played against Maryland, was told. And then Ohio State, get that win. Okay, we're going to pull him back in the garage, though. But the Kaepernick plays. Now, what do we mean by the Kaepernick plays? Let's not make this political. The Kaepernick plays. Jack, let's throw up the stats. 2012 divisional round on the road, okay? The 49ers on the road against, I believe it was on the road, I'm pretty sure it was, against the Green Bay Packers. Colin Kaepernick, in his first year as a starting quarterback in the NFL, 16 carries. It doesn't say 16 completions. That's 16 carries for a quarterback. 181 yards, 11 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns, 56-yard was his longest run. The Kaepernick plays is the read option, which JJ has done a great job of throughout his career. It was really kind of what he was put into the game for a lot as a freshman and spot times. Did a couple times here and there as a sophomore. Really haven't seen a ton this year. The most important play of that read option is when JJ kind of took it and that play in the third quarter against Ohio State on the road in 2022, where he kind of came around the option, about to get 7-8 yards, took out like 3 Ohio State defenders and knocked them all down and got forced out of bounds, still standing. The Colin Kaepernick plays. Michigan feels that they're going to struggle to pass the ball. I think that's just what the fans do, but they know that the Alabama secondary is packed full of super future NFL stars, number 1 draft picks, et cetera, et cetera. But the Colin Kaepernick, how about next year, right? The 2013 NFC Championship game against the Seattle Seahawks, which they lost, right? That was actually the game, the Richard Sherman screaming game, Jack, if you remember that one, where you're like, blah, 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 all that stuff. Who was that about? The wide receiver whose names escape me at the moment. 11 carries, 130 yards against a Pete Carroll-led team, right? You think about the coaches who had the most success in the NFL and college, just like Jim Harbaugh, Pete Carroll over the past 15 or 20 years. 11 carries, 130 yards. Again, 11.8 yards per carry, more than 10 yards per carry. 3 touchdowns and along a 58 yards. So those are the Kaepernick plays. We'll keep talking about these keys to victory. But I'll ask you guys this question. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? Because now is the time. I'll be on location for the Rose Bowl out in LA next week. I'll probably do a little inside scoop, hotel video, etc. We'll have a lot of content for you. We'll be live on Wednesday. The 27th is the date on that one. Our last live show of 2023 before Michigan, Alabama. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know down in the comments if it's yes, show you some love. If it's no, tell me what we can do to get your subscription here on YouTube. It's free. Michigan's advantage here is the read option, right? Alabama and Michigan knows, right? They know that J.J. McCarthy is not maybe as high-end fast down the sidelines as Colin Kaepernick. He's a step slower, but he's probably the fastest quarterback Michigan has had outside of Denard Robinson over the past 30 years, right? I don't think that's that's crazy to say. Auburn exposed Alabama, okay? They had 200-plus yards rushing. They were doing the read option that Auburn, with multiple coaches, have been known for about 15, 16, 17 years, running that read option. Their quarterback, Peyton Thorne, who was a cast-off at Michigan State, he was getting 50-plus running yards. That's where Michigan is going to make an impact. Letting JJ hand the ball off. Oh, no, pull it back and run, right? 10 yards, 15 yards. And all you need is that one crease. And sometimes with these elaborate blocking schemes Michigan has, that one crease doesn't have to come with JJ making a move or the Alabama defense reading the wrong way. It could come from, that right tackle, he's just going to take a step back, Trente Jones, and dart across the field that way. JJ, handoff, read option, Blake Corum that way, reads the defensive end, boom, going this way, and the right tackle pulls, the left tackle pulls either side, takes out the outside guy, creates a crease for JJ, boom, he is gone, 20 yards, 30 yards, one man to beat, maybe a long touchdown for Michigan. Keep an eye out for this when the game starts. Maybe they won't pull it out right away, but they're going to set up Alabama to just, okay, it's not working. Blake Corum 2 yards, Zion Edwards 1 yard, Blake Corum 3 yards. Where's the running game? It's not working. Pull back. J.J. McCarthy. Let's see a 30-40 that Shea Harrison run in 2018 against Wisconsin. They were exposed by Auburn. J.J. McCarthy, though, is clearly was not 100%, right? The last month of the season. Took a hit against Purdue. Ankle, injured his knee against Penn State. Still played against Maryland, although maybe he shouldn't have. I don't know. And then was healthy enough to get the job done against Ohio State and Iowa. But this month off has done been better for nobody other than J.J. McCarthy. And I think you're going to see the best McCarthy you're going to get in this 2023 season coming up against Alabama. I should say at least the healthiest since he's been, frankly, probably since the Michigan State game there when Michigan won 49-0 up in Spartan Stadium. The 7th or 8th game of the season. I don't think Michigan's going to be able to bully Alabama. This is just too big of a team, too fast of a team, and too disciplined of a team. But if they can get misdirection, follow that Auburn playbook, follow maybe the Georgia playbook that they used to some success early on, but for some reason went away from it, Michigan's going to get this win against Alabama. Number 2, you got to break tendency. I've talked about this plenty of times over the last year. Jack and I went to the national title game with a couple people last year here at Chat Sports, planning on covering Michigan, LA. By the way, it was a brutal game. It rained. I was in the press box, and it was even raining in the press box because it was extended press box, etc. So Michigan's going to have to break tendency. I'll tell you about what those TCU players said to us about Michigan and tendency. I'll tell you about what Michigan needs to do to break the tendency to beat Alabama in a second. But before I do, I got to tell you about Prize Picks. It is awesome. I love Prize Picks. It's just you versus the numbers. You can mix and match sports. I can make a prize pick on the NBA, NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, college football. I get a reboot policy, right? If a player gets injured in the first half, doesn't return, boom, doesn't hurt me with my prize pick submission. And you can do flex play, right? If I put 5 selections in, I can still get a win if I get 4 right or 3 right. Daily fantasy made easy. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 players, and you submit your prize picks for the game. They've got some awesome promotions every day during the holiday season now with their Picksmas promotion. So make sure you log into the app, see what the promotions are during this holiday season for Picksmas. Here are my prize picks. I put one in yesterday. I put one in for Michigan, Alabama. I put a 5. Never done a 5-bagger before that. I picked them all. I've got more than 16.5 rushing yards for J.J. McCarthy, more than 32.5 for Jalen Milroe. I've got more for 36.5 receiving yards for Colson Loveland, less than 71.5 rushing yards. I hope I'm wrong, but I think I've got reasons that I just showed you with that read option why I might not be. And then less, I don't think Alabama's going to be able to pass the ball with a, not accurate quarterback and less than stellar receiver crew than they've had in the past. I put $25 on that, all right? Kept 25 in my account just to make this bet. So I'm going all or nothing on this prize pick season before I have to put more money in for the NBA and baseball. Win myself $250, but if I only get 4 right, I get 2 more times the money. If I get 3 right, I get $10 back, so I don't lose the entire thing. And that's how easy it is to play with Prize Picks. And you get yourself a $100 deposit match up to $100 if you use code CLNS when you sign up and make your first deposit. If you're using the link prizepicks.com/CLNS, that's prizepicks.com/CLNS. Link is in the live chat, link is in the comments, and link is in the description of today's Michigan Football Report. How about some self-scouting? Right? Break tendency. You got to do it with self-scouting. It didn't happen for Michigan in 2021 against Georgia. It didn't happen for Michigan in 2022 against TCU. Michigan cannot be easy to prep for. What those TCU players told Jack and I at Media Day 2 days before playing Georgia is they knew when Brent Bredesen came in the game, it was going to be a run play to his side of the field. They knew when J.J. McCarthy set a guy in motion left or right, they were trying to pull a defender that way, and they were going to throw short to this guy. Boom, pick 6. Pick 6. We talked to both players who picked 6 J.J. McCarthy. Both of them said to a man, we knew exactly what was coming when that play. So it wasn't an athletic thing. It's like Michigan just did not switch up their play calls against TCU. I think it was coaching malpractice, and that is what it was. But nevertheless, Michigan needs to self-scout themselves. They need to break tendency, right? So if Diamond Edwards is in the game at wide receiver, right, what do they normally do? I haven't scouted every single play and gone back every single one, but certainly Alabama's going to. Certainly the defensive staff is going to do on defensive, offensive staff. It doesn't mean just on offense. It means on defense as well. When Mike Sanders was in the game, that means Michigan is only playing the pass, so Alabama's going to be able to run on him. When Ernest Hausman's in the game, does that mean he's only spying Jalen Milroe? They will take advantage of that. So whatever you think, right, if I was Jim Harbaugh, I would say to 2 coaches on offense, 2 coaches on defense, give me a game plan of how you'd stop us. Give me a game plan on how you absolutely dominate this defense. And then let's not do that when we play Alabama, because if you do, they're going to know exactly what's going to happen, and maybe you're going to get more of those pick sixes that J.J. McCarthy unfortunately threw too many times against TCU. Next up, your leading receivers can't be Roman Wilson and Cornelius Johnson, because if it is, that's going to be like 3 catches for 27 yards, 4 catches for 42 yards, and Michigan is going to lose the game. Where Michigan has an advantage is the safety position or that star position, Malachi Nelson, etc., and the linebackers trying to cover Colson Loveland, A.J. Barner, and the Don. You're not going to throw in this Alabama secondary with Roman Wilson and Cornelius Johnson as your 2 leading wide receivers. Toss up that secondary if you could for me, Jack. Here's what Alabama's got. Now, they play 5 players in their secondary, typically just like Michigan, a 4-2-5. Michigan kind of plays a 2-2-2-5, right? 2 edge, 2 middle guys, 2 linebackers, and then 5 defensive backs most times. That's their typical base set. Kool-Aid McKinstry, first-team AP All-American cornerback, 1 of 3. Terrion Arnold, first-team AP All-American cornerback, 2 of 3 of the cornerbacks. And then Caleb Downs, true freshman, second-team AP All-American. He's actually a safety, Jack, I believe. But nevertheless, Caleb Downs, safety. Michigan's wide receivers, they're not going to get big plays in these guys. They're just not, right? I would say even if this is Chad Henne with Jason Avant, Braylon Edwards, and Steve Bresson, that would be the best Michigan's going to do over the past 25 years. Maybe Adrian Arrington and Mario Manningham, etc. I mean, it's just not going to happen for Michigan to get big downfield. In fact, that's where Michigan struggled the most this entire season. They have really struggled throwing downfield in the pocket, especially in the red zone. Colson Loveland, Donovan Edwards, I think it's been kind of malpractice of how Michigan's used Edwards, despite the fact that he's got 30 catches this year, no touchdowns for the Don, only 249 yards receiving. That's well less than 10 yards per catch, right? That would be 300 yards at 10 yards per catch. So, in general, if Donovan Edwards, Colson Loveland, or A.J. Barner are Michigan's leading 2 or 3 wide receivers, I think that's going to signal a win for this team, right? A.J. Barner is tied with Donovan Edwards at 249 yards. A few less catches, only 22 catches, but he's got that 1 touchdown against Purdue. Right? I think it was that just absolutely dime, beautiful catch where McCarthy threw it. You didn't even know how it fit in between those 2 guys, came over the shoulder, etc. A.J. Barner could be an unsung hero on offense, right? If you got McKinstry, you got Arnold on Cornelius Johnson, on either Tyler Morris or Roman Wilson, etc. Who can they put on A.J. Barner, Colson Loveland, or the Don? To stop him, I think Michigan's got a major advantage there, and Michigan's offensive game plan needs to use that advantage to score points and to get the ball down the field. Next up, look, I think the fact that Alabama beat Georgia and the fact that Jalen Milroe threw a Hail Mary 31 yards when he's got two men rushing him, it's just changed the perceptions. Like, people forgot who Alabama was most of the year, right? This is a team that's given up more sacks than almost anybody in college football. They're like number 122 in sacks given up. It's not Cam Newton you're facing out there, right? You're not Cam Newton. But if it was, how could Jim Harbaugh fare against Cam Newton? Well, he played him in the playoffs, right? The 2013 NFC playoffs. The Panthers were the number 1 seed. And he went 15-25 for 267. But San Francisco sacked him 5 big times, right? He's big-bodied like Cam Newton. He does not have the high-end speed. Certainly doesn't have the arm strength and accuracy. 10 carries for 54 yards in a 23-10 home loss. The 49ers got the win on the road against the Panthers. So Jim Harbaugh can do it, right? He has done so well in the NFL in postseason games. It's such an interesting thing that he struggled so much in college football postseason games. But Milroe and Alabama, they win if any of these things or multiple of these things happens, right? If he can scramble to get yards on called passing plays, right, where it's not a quarterback read or a draw or something like that. If Michigan's got guys run over the field, they're trying to cover downfield, and he can take off, Michigan doesn't account for him, boom, he's going to get that. If a shot put blasts are completed, right? I say that because he doesn't throw the ball like a Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes where it's like this. He throws it like this, right? It's like just chuck it up there like Trace McSorley used to do at Penn State and hope your wide receiver is wide open or outmuscles the man for the play. Michigan's got to stop those, knock those down, intercept those, or Alabama's going to get the win. And then if the read option has early success. They're going to try and do some of the same things Michigan's going to do. Get the quarterback outside of the tackles on the run. If they've got success, it might end up in an Alabama win. How about this one? Playing to win, coaching to win. They didn't do it against TCU, but I feel the last 2 Ohio State games just got to be the mindset for this team, okay? You went to Columbus 2 years ago. You're throwing, Khalil Mullings jump passes, right? You're going to down. You're doing an orbit motion fake, stepping up, throwing down the field in the third quarter to true freshman Colson Loveland, who barely got any playing time so far that year. That's the mindset, a winning mindset. This year against Ohio State, a winning mindset. The Don pass, going forward on 4th and 1, going forward on 4th and 2, getting those plays, letting J.J. McCarthy roll out, throw against the grain to get a first down when you had to keep the ball, to keep the drive going, to go up by 6 in the fourth quarter. Has Michigan learned from the 2 college football playoff losses? Okay, they've got to have a great, a creative game plan, and frankly, I'm just going to read off what it says on the screen right there. This is a legacy game for a lot of people. I think it's a legacy game for the show, Jack. I think it's a legacy game for the show. We got to put in our prep. You as fans got to put in your prep. You got to cheer to the best of your ability, whether it's at the stadium, in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl, if it's at home, the team can feel it. And it's a legacy game for these players, right? If J.J. McCarthy is 0-3 in the college football playoff, there's just going to be so many haters and doubters, and Michigan has got to get this win to just solidify everything that's happened after that disastrous 2020 season. You come with a game plan. You play to win. Don't get intimidated by the name on the front of the jersey or who's coaching on the other side of the field. Coach like you're going to win, just like you've done against Ohio State the last 3 years, and Michigan's going to get this win. Will be in the national championship game January 8th in Houston. It's Houston or bust. So just comment Houston as many times as you can. Put in the effort, typing Houston as many times as you can, as you expect from Michigan football players and coaches as they prep for this win over Alabama coming up on January 1st. Keep typing Houston in the live chat, in the comments, and I'll type it as well. Go Blue. Ooh, man, Jack, I got to be pumped up, baby. I got to be pumped up. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to fire up. Jacksonville Zoe saying Houston. Brent Christie saying Houston. Let's go, baby. I'm pumped up after that, Jack. I'm pumped up. I got to win. Got to win against Alabama. I'll tell you what, Jack. I went to the 2012 Alabama-Michigan game, and it's a top 10 matchup. Alabama just won the national championship, going for back-to-back. But everyone was excited about Michigan's year 2 against Brady Hoke, went 11-2 the year before, beat Ohio State, went to the Sugar Bowl, beat Virginia Tech. Denard's coming back. Okay, cool. His senior year. 2012 is in Dallas, right? And I was like, oh, man, Michigan's going to get this win. They're going to be ranked number 1, number 2 after this. I think Michigan was 8th and Alabama was maybe 2nd or maybe even 1st. And I will say this. We went down to the field because we got in the same 2 hours before the game because I'd never been to Jerry World before. Went down to the field. Went watched the Michigan sideline. 2 hours before the game, no one's there. You can walk right up to the edge. Watch Michigan practice for 20, 30 minutes. Went over to the other side of the field. Watched Alabama practice for 20, 30 minutes. And I said this to my dad and girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife. Maybe she's my fiance at the time. I said, there's not a single football player in Michigan's entire team that would even make Alabama's roster. I said to them, these guys are just absurdly big. They're so much bigger than Michigan players, so much faster. They look like, you see a guy's muscle out to here in a T-shirt or something like that. That's how Alabama's team looked. Michigan looked like a high school team compared to them, and that was the score. It was 35-7 at halftime, and Alabama just, I think the final score was 45-14 or something like that. I don't feel that's the way. I think Michigan's got those guys now. Jim Harbaugh has completely revamped this team. I would say if you put these teams together, Michigan's got just as many starters as Alabama does if you combine these teams. So that's not the case now. Houston or bust. Barry says, hold it down, H-Town. He's from there. Barry, are you going to be there, my man? If you're going to be there, let me know. Hit me in the DMs. We'll hang out. Houston or bust for Josh Sherwood. Team speed, Jacksonville says, is one of the biggest differences. That's so true, right? At every position, right? Quarterback, running back, team speed. Hell, wide receiver has improved. I think it was really good first couple of years of Harbaugh. Kind of fell off. Even with Diamond Edwards, Nico Collins, and Tariq Black, I didn't think team speed was as great wide receivers as it should be based on those guys' talents and what a couple of them are doing there in the NFL. So that is our 3 segments in the show. We've got our first Q&A. Thank you for participating in it. For those who did, we went over the recruiting class. We've got our keys to beating Alabama. Now we're going to do another Q&A. So if you guys want to join, use hashtag Michigan. And if you want to contribute to the show, if you want to contribute to get Jack, you should put up the number where we're at towards the Send to Jack to Houston fund. We're getting close to sending Jack to Houston. Barry says he's going to the Rose Bowl, so look forward to that. I'll give everybody a little hint. I've been to, I think, 4 or 5, I think 4 of the 9 national championship games in the CFP era. And I had to pay for tickets, a couple of them, did media passes a couple other times. Tom took my media pass the one year, etc. I will say this. Geography makes a big difference on ticket prices. If it's Michigan, Washington, I bet you can get tickets under face value. I'm not even joking about that. Ohio State, Oregon, 2014, first national championship game. Jack, you could get in tickets at game time for half face value. Half face value for an upper deck ticket, maybe like around face value for a lower deck ticket. So if the game Georgia-Alabama in 2017, tickets were like $1,000 in the door, triple the price of face because it's Georgia-Alabama in Atlanta. Alabama-Clemson out in San Francisco, good crowd, good energy, etc. But you could get a face value ticket right at game time. So you're in the door $325, $455, $600 for lower deck. So it really depends on geography. If it's Michigan, Washington, in Houston, I don't think that's going to be a hot ticket. Now, if it's Michigan, Texas, or hell, even Alabama, Texas, that's going to be one of those, this is the most expensive game to get into in the history of college football. So we'll see how that shakes out. So, Barry, if you can afford to go out to the Rose Bowl, if you're from Houston, you have to pay for travel or hotel or airfare, you could probably get to the game. I bet you can get that game if it's Michigan, Washington. Absolutely. There's the Super Chat. We are $240 away from sending Jack to Houston. Our winner, I'm going to message Amy Savage, is that who won it? Yeah. Maybe she wants to send Jack to Houston as well. So if you guys want to join our next segment here, Michigan Football Report Q&A, give me a hashtag Michigan before any of your comments. I see Ace of Spades doing it. Thank you so much, Ace of Spades. Use hashtag Michigan in your comment. It tosses it right to the top of Jack's queue, or we can give you a super chat, and that'll put you at the top of Jack's queue as well. Barry Benson says, my parents got Rose Bowl tickets. They were about $350 each. I checked on the Natty way too late, and it's already like $1,700. Now they're up to like $3,000, lowest $2,000. That'll come down, I think. I don't think it's ever going to be that expensive, lowest in the door, unless you want really good seats. But cheers to you, Barry B. Benson, Triple B. Local money higher as travel. Mark says, no one has to go on a trip without taking a ticket. I mean, the Rose Bowl, Jack, tickets are pretty expensive still. Secondary market, obviously it's sold out. But, man, travel to California has been insane. I mean, any hotel is like $350 a night. So it's a very expensive trip to the Rose Bowl. But I don't think Houston will be that as bad. It's not as bad hotel rooms either. So if they don't play Texas, I think a lot of Michigan fans can end up getting in the door and getting some decent seats when Michigan is playing in the national title game against Houston. If it's Texas, I think it's going to be an absolute nightmare to get a ticket. So we'll see how that shakes out. All right, Jack, we got enough questions to do a Q&A, a second mailbag here on the Michigan Football Report. I think we should do one. Or do you want to do a duck race to give away our other Manscaped thing? Let's do it after this. We'll do the mailbag, then we've got one more segment, my what to watch for. We'll do it right after this. So if you guys want to watch another duck race, we can give away a beard hedger from Manscaped in about 15 minutes here on the Michigan Football Report. Jack says, hold on one second. He's got some people in his ear, some producers. They're talking about big-time production stuff. I see you, Jacksonville Zoe. There's Jordan Marshall play. Even the Don says. Brent, we went over signing day a little bit ago, so you want to rewind back to about Jack just went through the class. Michigan got one commit today from a 4-star defensive lineman, and then they got one transfer from a former 4-star top 150 player linebacker who's made a hell of an impact at Maryland the past 2 years. We can scroll back to the first hour of the show. We go over all the recruiting comings and goings, Michigan's class, Big Ten classes, and where the Wolverines at in the national rankings. For now, it's the Michigan football mailbag, second one on this live show. We've got some burning questions that people have sent in at the Michigan Football Report for this mailbag. So we're going to jump into some of these burning questions as the Wolverines are going to head to California on Tuesday and play Alabama coming up a week from Monday to New Year's Day, 5 p.m. Eastern at the Rose Bowl. But this show is presented by Manscaped. The holiday season may be coming to a close, but that doesn't mean you can't get a last-minute gift, make up for some, Christmas bad decisions you made or elsewhere by treating the people in your life with Manscaped. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is amazing. 20% off and free shipping. Manscaped is the owner of the bathroom, at least in my house. You need to get it going in your house as well. Promo code GOBLUE for 20% off and free shipping. First question coming up, Guy from UP. That's Upper Peninsula for those of you who don't know. He says, what position groups will see the most transfers after season? Hashtag Michigan. hashtag Bosa. So we saw this one. I think we should have this one, my transfer portal list for Michigan. So had this list. Is that really Guy Fieri? Is that who that is, Jack? It might be. Well, I think clusters, right? And this is what I mean. I want you guys to just pause me for a second. I think he means transfers out of Michigan. I don't think really anybody's going to transfer during this CFP run. We've already had one transfer running back for Michigan, but he's sticking down with the team. So I mean by clusters, I mean where I can see potentially 2 or more players transferring out, right? One is quarterback, okay? One is certainly quarterback. Alex Orji, Jaden McDaniels, we'll see how things shake out with those guys. But if Michigan brings in a transfer portal quarterback, Davis Warren even potentially, he's got a couple years of eligibility left. Like those 3 guys, I could see 2 of them potentially transferring if J.J. McCarthy comes back, or if Michigan brings in a guy, then you've got Jadyn Davis right behind them. They don't see any future playing time as a starting quarterback at Michigan. I'm not saying they will. I hope they all stay, but I could see 2 of those 3 potentially transferring out from Michigan. How about linebacker, right? You're bringing a transfer from Maryland. You got Ernest Hausman. Junior Colson could come back, and you've got 6 or 7 linebackers over the 20, 21, 22, and 23 classes that maybe don't want to stick around and sit the bench for another couple of years. So I could see multiple linebackers transferring. Not going to speculate on who at this time. Running back. You already got 1 running back in the portal, maybe 2. You've got Benjamin Hall sitting there as a true freshman. Cole Cabana. Got 2 freshman running back coming in. A couple others over the last few years. Michigan's going to be 7, 8 deep at the running back position next year. If Diamond Edwards comes back, could you see another running back who would go up to 2 or more transfer out? Don't be surprised. And then defensive line. So much talent's going to come back in Michigan's defensive line. Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham. You got your guaranteed starters in the middle next year for Michigan. Chris Jenkins, clearly, obviously gone to the NFL. I think he's going to be a first-round draft pick. On the outside, Jalen Harrell could come back. Braden McGregor could come back. Not to mention, Derek Moore behind him. Josiah Stewart behind him. So the guys behind them, the third stringers, the fourth stringers, TJ... what's his name? TJ Guy, guys like that could be playing in other places. Defensive line is a position I could see 2 or more players transferring. I don't think anything's going to happen until at least after the Michigan-Alabama game on January 1st. Guys, I've been getting roasted and talked trash to and, mean people, mean-spirited people. So you got to help me get the replies. Follow me on Twitter. It's at James Yoder. Alabama fans are coming at me now. Ohio State fans have been coming at my head for the past, 5 years, but I've had a little of the upper hand on them lately. So it's at James Yoder on Twitter. Link for that is down in the comments and the description, and toss it in the live chat if you're watching live here on the show. Question from our guy, Josh Sherwood. Josh, what up? He says, Yoder, can Michigan get to the 10th spot in these 2024 recruiting rankings? I don't see anyway. That's too big of a jump. Now, if you get Caitlin Bear, maybe they jump up to 12 or 13, maybe. But I just don't see the potential players. If you look at the top 250 players in this entire class, I've never seen it at this point, the first signing day, where like 90% of them, right? Over 90%. I think there's only like 17 in the top 250. So that's like 93% or something like that have not committed and planning to sign today, whether or not they all do or not. So I don't really see any way that they can. I think at most you're going to get up to 15 or 14 if you add, Bear, maybe 1 or 2 other players. Jacksonville Zoe helping send Jack to Houston with a $50 super chat earlier with this question. He says, does Jordan Marshall play next year even if the Don stays? Now, what do we make of Benjamin Hall? Was injured this year for quite a bit. Cole Cabana and others, or maybe a transfer portal running back, of which there potentially are going to be a plenty that Michigan will begin looking at depending on what the Don does. I'll tell you more about what I think about it in a second, but I got to tell you about Manscaped, the sponsor of the Michigan Football Report for 4 seasons running now, and they've got their best product line out of all time. One of my favorites, it's the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This is part of the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. You buy all these items, the Performance Package, you've got you got the lawnmower, you've got the Manscaped boxers, Jack. You've got the Manscaped travel pack, which is amazing, which I use all the time. You buy all these things separately. It's like $257. The package is $139. That's a hell of a deal there. But you get 20% off with promo code GOBLUE at manscaped.com. Promo code GOBLUE at manscaped.com. You see all these products in there. Go check it out for yourself. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, normally $139, deep discount bundled together. Chopping prices. $111.99 is the price with that 20% off discount. You only get that 20% off using promo code GOBLUE right at the bottom of the screen there. Right there. No spaces. GOBLUE. 20% off free shipping. It's not too late to, make up for some bad gifts you gave in the holiday season, a little late Christmas gift, etc. Manscaped.com. Promo code GoBlue. Get the beard hedger. You see this beard? It's properly maintained with the beard hedger at Manscaped. I got their shampoo. I got the conditioner. I got their deodorant. It's an amazing group of products. Manscaped is the king of the bathroom for guys, and they better be that for you as you go into 2024. The 5th generation products are amazing. Get them there. Manscaped.com. Promo code GoBlue. All right, go back to this question. I think it just depends on what Benjamin Hall, Cole Cabana. I haven't heard any buzz about those guys since spring practice, maybe a little bit after that. And if the Don comes back, they're probably going to need him. Now, does Michigan get a transfer portal running back? Names are starting to emerge. There's some speculation that there could be 1 or 2 guys out there. I was really excited about, what's his name, Travis Etienne's brother, but sounds like he's not going to be in Michigan's plans. He's looking at other schools. So if Michigan gets a transfer portal running back that can make an impact, then maybe not. But I think by 2025, Jordan Marshall's going to be Michigan's starting running back one way or another, where it's kind of splitting carries like Corum and Haskins did at times, or just the true bell cow for Jim Harbaugh's squad. Guys, we're sitting at 30,105 subscribers here on the Michigan Football Report. Appreciate everyone who's joined the show. 30,105 strong of you. Subscribe if you haven't. YouTube.com/Michigan TV. We should turn off the subscriber only chat if we still have it on. But nevertheless, subscribe now. Hit that button below the video if you're watching live or watching on demand. Doggycoin 3000, I know it's Dogecoin. Dogecoin 3000 says, who will lead Michigan in receiving yards against Alabama? Well, that's a wild question, Dogecoin, but we've got a graphic for this. I think these are 2 guys that need to step up right here. Jack was on the spot. As soon as he saw the question, he knew what graphic I needed. These players must step up. It's Colson Loveland. It's Donovan Edwards. And maybe they've stepped up. Although I am mystified by how easy Donovan Edwards gets tackled this year. I'm mystified by it, right? He gets tackled. The touch, right? It's like, Donovan, he's running. Tell him, touch. Oh, he falls over, right? It's just terrible. Colson Loveland, I think next year is a first-team All-American player. I think he's the best tight end in college football in 2024. Those guys need to have introduce yourself to the world games. A lot of people know Donovan Edwards. I think Colson Loveland's still an under-known name in college football. But Michigan's got to feature them in the game plan. It's got to self-scout. They can't let the old tendencies of Jim Harbaugh's offense of run the ball left, run the ball right, 3rd and 9, have to throw a prayer out there. I remember Shea Patterson was quarterback at Michigan. I always thought his talent was underutilized, but it was just brutal sometimes when I thought anytime against a good competition, Ohio State or Penn State or Alabama in the bowl game, like Shea had to throw in the smallest windows of all time, and the receivers had to make circus catches to complete a damn pass half the time against good competition, and it just cannot happen against Alabama. Get these guys in space. Go back to the Jim Harbaugh. Jack, if you want to see the game I'm looking for, you guys, Jack as well, I'm not sure if you were even alive for this game, 2010 season, so January of 2011, Stanford, Virginia Tech, Harbaugh's last game at Stanford. Watch the second half of that game, how they use the tight ends. It was like watching, this is the top 10 matchup. They were just down the field 30 yards, wide open. It was that same guy. It was 3-4 different tight ends. And Andrew Luck had a field day with the tight ends in the second half. That's what I'm hoping from Colson Loveland, A.J. Barner, and then something more we've seen out of Donovan Edwards in the passing game. I think J.J. McCarthy has become the best quarterback of all time. I've been saying it since the offseason. I think it was once he beat Michigan State 49-0, and then Penn State a couple weeks later, that did it for me. J.J. McCarthy, the best quarterback of all time. Do you agree with me? Do you think McCarthy is? Let me know in the live chat or comments who the best quarterback of all time. For me, I think it's J.J. 1. I probably would still say Jim Harbaugh 2, although I didn't really watch him play, just kind of the accomplishments and the Heisman 3rd place and first-round draft pick. And maybe Chad Henne, John Navarre. Winning help stops me from putting Denard up there in that top 2 or 3. Tom Brady probably on 5 or 6. Drew Henson's probably the most talented, but really, he only started, 8 or 9 games at Michigan, right? And then he was hurt for the first 4 games of his junior year. Then would have been the number 1 pick, Heisman favorite going into 2022 or 2002, decided to leave for the Yankees minor league system. So let me know, guys, who is the best Michigan quarterback of all time. Now, if Michigan wins against Alabama, when they win, I just don't think anyone can dispute at that point that is J.J. McCarthy. He is Michigan's GOAT. And let's just be real here. I think he is, and I think there'll be no debate after Michigan beats Alabama. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's just go to this next question, though, Sam. From I said Sam. I said Jack. Next up in the queue, though, is an interesting name. I said Sam. Drunken Sam Webb. We've seen this person on there. I think it's hilarious. Drunken Sam Webb. Who's the picture of, though? You got to be kidding me. You see that picture, Jack? That says Sam Webb versus everybody is the T-shirt. So, okay. Drunken Sam Webb says, compare Jalen Milroe to another quarterback Michigan has faced over time. Well, nobody this year, I don't think at least. Maybe J.T. Barrett, but Barrett was smaller and probably threw better. They didn't really face Cardale Jones, but maybe Cardale Jones is a comparison body-wise, although I think Cardale Jones is a better passer. Just going back in time, oh, gosh, this is a tough one. Who was that quarterback, 2005 Penn State? I'm going to look it up. I forget. And this is going way back for some people, right? This is almost 20. Michael Robinson, quarterback at Penn State, right? Back in 2005, led them to like a 12-1 season. Michigan was their only loss that year in 2005. Michael Robinson could be one for me. Other than that, like it's tough to say. Like they haven't really faced a quarterback that I can think of. Let's go. But how about even Dennis Dixon? Although Dixon was probably not as thick and maybe not as good of a maybe better thrower, not as good of a in between the tackles runner. Dixon was maybe a little faster. Maybe Dennis Dixon, who just absolutely tore Michigan up in 2007. So got to avoid a remake of that one. Next question up, coming from Bill Graves, is: will you agree that we need to be able to run the ball well to win, or is JJ going to have to win it all? I mean, if Michigan runs the ball well, they will win. If they get stuffed, absolutely stuffed like they did against Georgia 2 years ago, they will lose. So, but there's a middle ground here, right? There is a middle ground of, can Michigan get 120 to 160 yards, right? That's not actually like dominating the, I think over in 160, 180, 200 plus yards. That's Michigan dominated the ground. If you get 120, right, which kind of like you did against Ohio State this year, it didn't look good in the first half. It's kind of building over time. Alabama seems to be a little more stout defensively, especially in that front defensive line than Ohio State. But they could get in that range. I think if it's under 100, I see a tough time Michigan winning the game. If you get that 100, 110, 120, then JJ is 50 of that, right? Opens things up downfield, and then Michigan can win the game. And frankly, I just think Michigan has a better defense too. So Alabama has more NFL defensive draft picks than Michigan will. I do think that Michigan overall has a more talented and better playing and deeper defensive line. So we need to run the ball. If it's stuffed, if it's under 50 yards, game over. But it does not have to be 200 yards to beat this Alabama team. Let me know what you guys' Christmas drink of choice is. Go down in the comments or the live chat. Give me a B if it's beer. Give me a W if it's wine. Give me an L if it's liquor. If you don't drink, that's cool too. Give me a D in the comments. I am a early morning mimosa guy. 7 a.m. when the kids wake up till probably 11. Have some breakfast, a little brunch. Take a little break in the afternoon, maybe a little nap, and then typically go to maybe a White Russian or something like that in the evening when you're gathered around watching sports, maybe playing with all the toys that those kids open. Give me a B, give me an L, give me a W, or give me a D. Let me know your drink of choice. I hope you guys have a great holiday season. Mentioned a couple minutes ago, I've been getting crushed in the comments in a good way, but a lot of haters and losers, of which there are many. So if you have yet to do so, give me a follow on Twitter. It's at James Yoder. And type Go Blue if you're a Michigan football fan. I see Let's Go Lions, W for weed. Big weed guy. Jack, you puff the Magic Dragon, don't you, Jack? Chris, you watching, Jack? Taking up a little habit. Jack, I don't know. Chris, man, do something. Just kidding. Rick is giving me a bourbon. Josh with an eggnog for the win. Eggnog with a little bit of rum. At least I would take it. You don't have to there. Liquor for 343 Films. Bill Graves, the liquor guy. Random Things channel says Go Blue. So keep typing those Go Blue. Let's get, Jack, where we've been. Let's see if we can break it. The chat record. We still got one more segment to go here. We've been live for nearly 3 hours, 175 people watching, 222 likes. Our biggest, that's brutal. That's brutal, Jack. Chat rate's been low. So the best minute we've had so far in 120 plus 53, 173 minutes live. Our best minute was 38 comments. That's YouTube gives you analytics, chat rate. 38 comments. So I'm going to ask you guys in about a minute. We'll put up the stopwatch. We will continue the show for another segment, take more of your questions if we beat the chat rate. If we don't, I'll lock this bad boy up and end the show. So it's up to you guys if you don't want us to win. So if you want us to continue, then don't comment. But when Jack is going to put that on screen here in a second, and we are going to give a shot clock 60 seconds. We need 39 comments, so you can comment anything you want. You can comment go blue. You can type just like I'm going to do here. You can go like, you can do that. You can comment 5-6 times in a row. That certainly helps. So we want to beat the chat rate, and we'll continue the show rolling as what we should do after this in a second, Jack, is we should also do the last Manscaped race giveaway. That's going to be electric. So let's do chat rate first. Chat rate first. Yeah. Same group. The same 15. Just take out Jacksonville Zoe because he won it, right? Yeah, Jacksonville Zoe. But if you've got the chat rate up there, we will get that going, and then we'll do a duck race. And I still got to do my things to watch for in the Rose Bowl. So we'll get that going as soon as we have the number on there. Debating booking my hotel in Houston today. That's how confident I am in beating Bama. Do it. Just make sure it's refundable. But yeah, do it, Jacksonville Zoe. We got to keep rolling. So keep typing. We're going to do our Michigan, Alabama things to watch for in the Rose Bowl. You got it. I appreciate it, Josh. Hope to see you there. Hope to hang out. I'll be there for at least 3 or 4 nights, depending on when I'm able to break away. Because I'm not going to get back from. It's kind of crazy how things turn around. I can get back from California until the afternoon on Wednesday, the 3rd, and the game's in 5 days. So I'll go back to Houston, Friday or Saturday. We'll see how it shakes out. We're going to do our show from there. All that good stuff. We already saw a chat rate to 30. We're going to put anything up for like a minute clock or anything, Jack, or what are we doing? Yeah, let's do that. That's what I was waiting for. Minute clock. You can get to the race in a second. I want to get the chat rate rolling first. So Jack's going to put up a 60-second clock, and can we put like something like 30 chat, like spam the chat or something like that to tell the people on the show. So we're going to do a minute countdown clock in a second. As soon as we get that up there, I'm going to ask you guys to get 39 comments or more. We're already at 30 over the last minute, so we're halfway to the goal here. So 39, and we will continue on, do another segment of the show, and go. We're already starting the clock. You didn't even tell me, Jack. Go! Type go blue. Type Bosa. Type 1. Type 3. We need 39 comments in the next 50 seconds. We've already got about 10. We see Rick. We see the Lords. We see Brent. We see random things. Mark, concerned dad. Ooh, what are you concerned about? Random things again. Barry B. Benson, Triple B, a Mish fan. Concerned dad again. Rick again. Brent again. Anybody who hasn't commented yet, do it. We got to hit 39 comments to continue this show. Keep it rolling here. I'm going to type a 1 there myself, just like that. I type 1, type Bosa, type go blue. Just type M, right? Type M. We've got 20 seconds left. We're right there. I haven't seen it pop up yet. 39 comments, probably have hit it, but keep it rolling. We're yelling, Jack, because I'm getting people, or Josh, because we're getting people excited. I think he's talking about people doing all the caps, right? Yell in caps. 10 seconds left, 7, 6, Bosa. I'm just typing letters now. Let's hit the goal. And we crushed it. Yeah, I just saw the update. And the last number is 47, but it's usually about 10 seconds behind. Thank you guys, everyone who did it. We'll keep going. We'll do the last segment, Jack. Appreciate it. Ooh, had to finish that one before it got warm. Where did the number end up at? Hit that heart screen. Oh my gosh, we absolutely crushed it. The last number just updated, 112 chat rate. I bet it was higher than that. I'll probably update it here about another 15 seconds. So appreciate everyone who joined us in there, showed the love in the live chat. Michigan Football Report. We have taken 2 of your mailbag Q&As. We've done the entire Michigan football recruiting class. We have gone through our keys to beating Alabama. BAFA beat Alabama football again. It's been 23 years. It'll be 23 years to the day where Tom Brady overcame 2 14-point deficits in the Orange Bowl, January 1st, 2000. Down 14-0, down 28-14 after tying up at 4-20. Tied it up, went to overtime, touchdown. I think it was the first play to a tight end. It wasn't Jeremy Tooman. It was somebody like that. And then Alabama scored like 2-3 plays, and they missed the extra point. Michigan ran off the court. Field win. Tom Brady set a record 375 yards passing that day, most passing yards in a game for a Michigan football player ever at that time. It's since been broken. 112 was the highest number we saw, then about another 108, I think, for the next minute. So great job for you guys. One more segment, but let's do what do you think, Jack? Let's do it. All right. We're going to do another ballet. I like that one. Beat Alabama, losers every time. Ballet. That's a good one. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. I guess it's 2 L's with the AL for the state. AL is Alabama, right? Beat Alabama, losers. Okay, every time. So 2 L's is Alabama losers, or ballet is just beat Alabama every time. Ballet, I like that one. Might have to take that from you guys. Thanks for the Go Blue one more time from Barry B. Benson, Terry Whitaker with the M emoji. And woo, baby, we got ourselves another one. So this race is going to be, Santa race. Is he on skates? What is that? Running Santa. All right. Let's see if you guys are excited for this race, if you've enjoyed these. If you've enjoyed the races, right, type Y. If you don't like them, type N. We'll make our decision based on what you guys like them. We'll keep doing them, right? It's really not costing most people anything. We did one 50-50 raffle. We gave $55 to somebody, and we gave away a Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. And this is to the people who super chatted from our last show, and the people who super chatted $10 or more in the early part of this show. We put them in here, so we got like 14 people now, Jack, I think it is, because we took out Jacksonville. So 14. Let's add Cool Moti to the list. Cool Moti in the house. Get him in there. The Dons about to have a big game as a pass catcher. 34-24 Michigan. 32-24 Michigan. I like that score. A little bit unconventional, 32 points, but I like it. Where is my stickers at? I think I dropped the stickers somewhere. Where'd they go? I see the stickers anywhere? What do I do with the stickers? Oh, they're hiding behind the screen over here. Cool Moti, a producer of the show. He's on the end screen, and he is on the hard hat once again, one of many. Let me get you on there. Cool Moti. Cool. And we're going to add you as a last-minute entry to the race here for a Manscaped beard hedger, the beard trimmer that takes care of me. I can do the 5 o'clock shadow, basically just one of these, and it's amazing. And it really is. It's probably my favorite product that I have other than my iPhone. Is the beard hedger by Manscaped. Cool Moti, you are helping us fill up another helmet. We got so many helmets, guys. Thanks just goes to just show all the support you guys have given. These are like 5 or 6 of like the 12 we filled up in the last year. $10 represents every single sticker. Helps pay for Jack's Mercedes. Helps me put my kids through school, etc. Kidding, Here's some more here. Got another one over here. Got about 6 more in my office behind us as well. So appreciate everyone. And we sent quite a few off to viewers. So thank you to everyone. And let's get this. We got Cool Moti in there. Okay, so people like the races. 90% so far on the poll. So we're gonna vote the poll on the top of the live chat, and then a lot of yeses coming through here in the live chat as well. So I think it's a yes. 30% say no, 23 votes. So vote up top if you want, so we can get the specific results. So the winner of this, do we have a picture of the beard hedger? Yeah, we can show that. We can show people what they're going to win. A little itch on my ear. 150 people watching live. Got 223 likes. So Jack's going to toss it out on the screen. There it is, the beard hedger from Manscaped. You can show both those if you want. Or that's a cool one too. So it's got all these products in there. You got little scissors. You got bad boy, got some beard balm. You can make yourself a beard savant, frankly, with the beard hedger from Manscaped. As always, go to manscaped.com. Use promo code GoBlue for 20% off and free shipping. Lawnmower 5.0, shampoo, conditioner. They got about 24 products right now, and they're all amazing. I've been a huge fan of Manscaped. If they support our show, if they stop supporting our shows, which maybe they will if you guys don't buy, I would still use the products every day regardless. So manscaped.com, promo code GoBlue, 20% off and free shipping. Let's start our engines, though. We're going to give away a beard hedger. Let's go. All right, on your mark. Get set. Go! We are off to the races. It's the centers. Oh, man, who is that? A reindeer pops out in front. And Cody Montford's got the early lead. The number 1 on his Santa bag. I see Ashley Lawson. Skirt. Up in there at the top of your screen. Rich's Ware. John Blaze. Cruising for show. Fran, who's the French? Dominic Franchillo, that's right. Big D Retro. We haven't seen Big D today. We've seen Ted D. Oh, boy, it's a big one. 33-32 as Rick Harford takes the lead. Top of the screen, halfway down the stretch. 25 seconds left. House of Lion takes the lead over Rick. Cool Moti, last man in the race, is now about to take first place, but Cruiser for Show takes the lead. But it's Tattoo Hick out of nowhere. 13, 12, Tattoo Hicks got the lead as we're coming down the stretch. 8 seconds left. 9, some guy takes the lead. 4 seconds left. It's going to be a photo finish. Some guy, Ace of Spades, 64-70 wins. Ace of Spades out of nowhere. What a win, baby. Ace of Spades, DM me on Twitter right now. Let me get your address. I want to send it. Oh, man. If you asked me what my job would be outside Chat Sports, I'd be like, can I just watch these and call these? I mean, I'm not even a good play-by-play guy. I would just work to get better at it. This would be electric, right? If we could just you could go online, donate $1, all right, put $1 and do a 50-50 raffle online or do some sort of thing on there. I would enter him as a player. I would call him as my full-time job. Ace of Spades. Jacksonville's though, I got one of these bad boys coming from you. Ace of Spades. Have we seen him 6470 in the chat in a second? All right. Well, let's see if we can tag him. Maybe that'll work. There we go. Oops. Toss up the Twitter account on the bottom of the screen if you can, Jack. Why is my caps lock going on? Whew. Jack, how come you haven't gone producer cam today? It's hot in the streets. Producer cam's hot in the streets. Let's keep rolling. So we've given away 2 Manscaped products. Thanks to everyone who participated. Those races are just electric. Those are electric, Jack. I love them. And that is that. Now, we do have, I think, 10 people who are getting Christmas cards from Jack and I who participated in our 50-50 raffle. Before we do the last one, the guys at Chat Sports challenged us and said, hey, you guys have never done one of these. We've had about a dozen shows do this. Jack, let's toss up the 500 graphic. Now, it hasn't been a big Super Chat show, and that's fine. But they said, for Christmas, see the Michigan Football Report, see how real these Michigan football fans are. So I'm going to just toss it up there. No pressure for anyone to do this, but this was put in front of us as we're probably, 50% capacity of the office today. So there's probably, 15 people or so here on a Wednesday as people have PTO. People got to work this weekend. There's games on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, Saturday. But nevertheless, NFL games there. We were told if we get the biggest Super Chat ever, in this show history, which would be $500, the entire office, everybody's here. They drop what they're doing. If they're filming a show, whatever, come in here. And this is one of our medium-sized studios. We fill as much space as we can. Every single person, 15 people, would chug a beer in your honor, and we'll do a little jump around. So if let's say it was Jack Lautaret, we'd do Jack, chug a beer. So if anyone does that, before we sign off today, be on probably about 25 minutes. I think we'll probably try and wrap the show up at 4:30 Eastern. 25 minutes, biggest Super Chat ever. Anyone wants to toss a $500 one? Steve says, where's John Blaze? I mean, you never know. Swanky Wolverine, he's a show up for the 500. I agree. Or John Blaze. I'll tell you what Jackson was. Imagine me doing a play-by-play 80-yard run by the Don in the Rose Bowl. Jack, go on camera for a second. Split screen me and you, whatever you want. Wolverine Alaska in the house? Maybe. Okay. Jack, if you can, tell the people what it's like watching a Michigan close game Michigan game. And you were there, both Diamond Edwards touchdown runs. You were there for the I'm trying to think of the interception against Rod Moore, or what were the big this last year's game just doesn't have as memorable of plays. But tell the people what that's like.
I don't think I've ever, and I've been to a World Series and bowl games and all of these different things. I don't think I've ever been in a more raucous environment. And it was just both of us. The rest of the office was empty. No one else was in the office. I don't think I've ever been in a more raucous environment than watching a Michigan-Ohio State victory with James Yoder.
How bad, how many times I inadvertently, no abuse, punch, hit, or slap you during those fourth quarters?
I don't think you did any slaps. I think it was a lot of pushes. You're let's go.
I think I did some of these, didn't I? Smacking the shoulders, pounding the shoulders,
some shoulders,
fist pounds, then chest punches.
Yeah, there was
electric.
There was some rowdy. We did some chest bumps, some running around, a lot of cardio. That's kind of what it was.
Yeah, it was electric. So that's why we stopped doing it. I mean, watch parties were so tough for me because I'm a mess to be in watching a Michigan game, especially an Ohio State game or this Alabama game. I don't know what's going to happen because I'm taking my son who's only 7 years old. He's been to 2 Michigan games before. He went to the Army game in 2009 when he was a month shy of his 3rd birthday, and he went to Michigan, Florida in 2017 when he was only 10 months old, Jack. So, like, this would be his first one as, like, a conscious person. But he watches all the first half of games with me that I don't go to, but nevertheless. So we'll do our what to watch for in the Rose Bowl. Coming up now, if anyone wants to send a $500 super chat, we will, my 17-year-old learn the F word after Michigan. Oh, my gosh. I was at the stadium for, oh, my gosh. I don't want to talk about that one. Jacksonville, though, I got the anti-vibes there, man. Ooh, oh, yeah, but hey. Your 14-year-old learned it there. That means your 14-year-old is probably, 22 now. So hopefully they didn't use it until they turned 18 after that. But I feel you on that one, man. That was just all-time gut punch because you felt like Michigan was back after that one. All-time gut punch. Let me know, Michigan or Alabama. I want to take a look through my what to watch for on this Michigan Football Report live, the second to last live show, but the last one we're going to do before Christmas. We'll be live again on Wednesday, the 27th. And I will take off to California on the 28th for the Rose Bowl on January 4th. January 1st, Michigan, Alabama, Rose Bowl for the right to play in the national championship game January 8th on Houston. Let's get it going right now. What to watch for in this game? Is this the most anticipated game? Is this the biggest game in the history of the Michigan football program? You have to make a tough argument to me that it is not. Nothing means more than if they win. You're going to face a Texas or Washington team that I think Michigan absolutely can beat. You're facing the SEC champions. You're facing the greatest coach, and not just the college football history, I don't think. I think in the history of football, in Nick Saban, that just took down the team that couldn't be beat, the Georgia Bulldogs, who was going for their third straight national championship game. This is the most important game in the history of this program. I think Michigan's going to get this win. So the things I'm taking an eye out for, things I think could happen, should happen, might happen, and if do happen, what it means for this program. First off, does Michigan come out looking fresh and clean and playing to win? Just think back to the game against TCU. It was the early game, right, in the day. So it was in the afternoon on New Year's Day. And the difference between that Diamond Edwards went right up the middle for 50 yards, but, somebody had cleared the angle on him, tackled him. I can't remember, it was maybe at the 20-yard line or something like that. And had he gone all the way, like he had just done against Purdue and Ohio State twice, that game might be over at that point, right? That game might be over. Michigan's in the national championship game. But then they get cute, okay? They get cute with trying to go for it on fourth down with a little Philly special triple toss around to you guys. Just absolutely terrible play. Like Colston Loveland, the true freshman, was the best option they had over J.J. McCarthy to throw the ball at the end zone. Okay, on fourth down. Then the next play, you're inside the 5-yard line again. You hand the ball off to Kalel Mullings. I get Diamond Edwards isn't the best guy, but hey, man, you saw J.J. McCarthy from the 3-yard line against Ohio State. Just bang that bad boy in. The first half against TCU, absolutely shameful. A complete coaching disgrace, in my opinion. I'll continue on this topic, but I'll ask you guys this question. Have you guys ever been to a Rose Bowl? I think I'm going to my 5th Rose Bowl, I believe it is. Been to some Michigans. I've been to some not Michigans. 5th Rose Bowl. Interesting thing I'll tell you here, Jack. A little inside baseball, inside Yoder's life. 2008 Rose Bowl, January 1st, 2009, with girlfriend, now wife, friend from high school, well after, lived in LA at the time, and we was like, okay, cool, let's get up, let's go out to the Rose Bowl, let's have some lunches with, we were some people out there. It was Penn State and USC, right? And let's go to the Rose Bowl, and we just didn't want to pay a lot of money, okay? And so, like, face value is like $250, et cetera. Like, tickets just didn't come down in price. Guy found us. We asked, we had a security guard. Other security guard, like 20 minutes later, runs over. Hey, who'd you guys looking for tickets? This security guard, let us pay him, right? $20 each to sneak us into the Rose Bowl. And he's like, I got some empty seats for you guys. This is kind of almost the end of the first quarter this time. And sneaks us into the Rose Bowl in the media entrance and sits us down in handicapped seats in the corner end zone. And then second half, Penn State was getting blown out. We went and sat like the 40-yard line because there's so many empty seats. But nevertheless, I did sneak into a Rose Bowl one time. Saw last week, though, Cowboys ticket taker guy got arrested for it because he let in a bunch of people without tickets to go doing standing room only, like taking cash. So hopefully my guy didn't get arrested back in the day. Have you guys ever been to the Rose Bowl? Let me know in the comments. Next one up for Michigan is the offensive line push, right? They've got to impose their will to the big boys, right? Without Zach Zinter, right? But it's not just imposing it running. Michigan, you saw against Penn State, even with Zach Zinter, right? With Carson Barnhart flipped out there to right tackle. Now he's at right guard. Michigan just could not handle that Penn State defensive pass rush. The offensive line depth chart is what we expect here. We'll probably see some Miles hitting in the game, but I expect that Trente Jones will be the starting right tackle. Carson Barnhart going back to his natural position there at right guard. Everything remains the same. So I think his offensive line needs to prove themselves. Are they getting a push? And you'll know it early on. But we've seen against Ohio State the last 2 years. Michigan can against Penn State in the second half. Michigan can wear teams down. That's that Joel Klatt boa constrictor kind of thing. But if they're just getting owned, you knew it against Georgia by the end of the first quarter. You knew it. I knew it. This game is over. Michigan cannot handle this basically NFL starting defensive line, which they all went to in secondary and linebackers, the guys that were pursuing the quarterback. But Michigan didn't go against that game plan. They just kept trying to force the ball to Hassan Haskins, force the ball to Blake Corum against Georgia 2 years ago. Can they get any push? And when J.J. McCarthy goes back to pass or read option, are their holes opening up? Are they holding their own at least? Maybe not dominating, holding their own, passing and rush blocking against Alabama. Let me ask you guys this question. 40 yards. J.J. McCarthy has 40 yards rushing against Alabama. I think they win the game. Just a gut feeling. I don't think he's done it this year, honestly. I don't think he's done it this year. He's done it in his career, but I don't think this year. Double check. More or less. Let me know what you guys think. More or less for 40 rushing yards for J.J. McCarthy. Funny enough, Jack, PrizePicks has the number at 16.5, right? I went more on that all day. You don't know what you guys think. More or less 40 yards rushing against Alabama. My take here. The offensive line needs to be healthy outside of Zach Zinter. Right, Miles Hinton's been banged up. A couple guys here and there. Drake Nugent has struggled here and there. I mean, hell, it's a funny story. Zach Zinter said he had like a cast on his hand when he broke his leg, and they were afraid to pull it off of him, etc. He said he didn't even need it, but he was just having it on there to kind of protect a prior injury that he had. They must use the mammoth package, not every time, but they must use it at times to take advantage of Alabama's defensive line when yards are absolutely needed. But let me just put this out to Jim Harbaugh, who I know watched the show time and time where clips are sent to him. Use the mammoth package 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, whatever it is, and then when throw the damn ball when they're not expecting. Hell, even have an offensive lineman eligible or something like that. Throw the ball out of that mammoth package because Michigan really, in the 9 years of Jim Harbaugh, but I think 7 years since they've used it, 8 years, they used it in 2016, I've never seen Michigan throw the ball when they have 6 or 7 offensive linemen in the game. You know what I have seen is myself win with PrizePicks. I love PrizePicks. They are the absolute easiest and fastest way to play daily fantasy sports. And you don't have to play against other players. You just pick more or less on 2, 3, 4, 5, or even up to 6 players to win up to 25 times your money. My PrizePicks for the Rose Bowl are as such. I asked you that question more or less for J.J. McCarthy. 40. PrizePicks says it's 16.5. You pick more or less. I thought more was easy for me, but what do I know? Jalen Milroe, I'm going more than 32.5 yards for him as well. I think it's his strength and what Alabama will play to do. Colson Loveland, 36.5 yards. He has got to be involved. I think him, A.J. Barner, or Diamond Edwards, one of those pass catchers that aren't wide receivers, need to handle the receiving duties for Michigan, for the Wolverines to get the win. I'm going less. I don't think Blake Corum has got as much zip, and I don't think Michigan's going to be able to get those kind of yards, 71.5. I'm going less. And then Jermaine Burton, the best receiver for Alabama, I'm going less because of his quarterback, mostly in Michigan's secondary, and 53.5 yards. With PrizePicks, it's just you versus the numbers. You're not playing against anybody else. You're not worrying about fantasy lineups or anything like that. More or less, you can mix and match sports. I went all Rose Bowl, mix and match games. I can go NFL, college football, NBA, one from each one. And think about how well you know your teams, whether it's the Lions, Michigan football, the Pistons, they stink, etc. Mix and match sports to have an advantage to win with PrizePicks. If one of your picks gets injured in the first half, doesn't return in the second, boom, reboot policy. You are not penalized for that. And then flex play. You saw that with this one. I'm picking 5, but I still win. If I pick 4, I get 2 times my money. And even if I only get 3 out of the 5, I'm getting 10 of that $25 back. And you can get up to $100 back in deposit match when you use our code CLNS. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Link down in the comments. Link in the description of today's video and the live chat. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use the code in the link. Support the show, our sponsors, and get yourself up to a $100 deposit match. What will Michigan do with Jalen Milroe? He's not the best passer Michigan's ever seen. He's not the best runner Michigan's ever seen, but he could be an interesting combo of a different quarterback that Michigan doesn't know how to prepare for well. Now, I've got an inside scoop is Michigan's talking to Mike McDonald. Michigan's talking to the offensive staff of the Ravens, who has shut down Lamar Jackson in the past. And what have they done to limit maybe the best scrambling and passing quarterback in the history of football, college or pro combined, right? Heisman Trophy, and the quarterback of the best team in the NFL, best record with the 49ers in the NFL right now. You got to spy him. You got to contain him. And you think about what Jalen Miller was. He wasn't there at the start of the first game. He got benched after they lost to Texas for a game. Then they brought him back because the guy behind him stunk, is now playing lacrosse back at Notre Dame. But nevertheless, Jim Harbaugh can beat big-time quarterbacks. Let's take a look at who Jim Harbaugh, as a head coach, has beat in playoff games, in NFL playoff games, the height of the sport. You think Jalen Miller is going to be a quarterback of an NFL playoff team? I don't think so. Drew Brees, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion. Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, 3-4-time MVP. Matt Ryan, Super Bowl participant, was almost Super Bowl champion, 28-3. He was going to have a Super Bowl win. Tom Brady took that back from him. I think he won an MVP too, didn't he, Matt Ryan? He might have. Aaron Rodgers, one more time, back-to-back years against Aaron Rodgers. And then Cam Newton, NFL MVP, Heisman Trophy winner, and Super Bowl runner-up himself. Jim Harbaugh beat all those guys in the NFL playoffs. You can't think he can beat Jalen Miller, but I feel like an idiot sometimes because I went back to my notes from last year's game, or 2 years ago game against Georgia. I used that same damn graphic, and that's just why it's so hard for me to comprehend. I said, you can't let Stetson Bennett, a 5'10 walk-on, beat you if you're Michigan. You got this defense with David Ojabo and Aiden Hutchinson and Dax Hill, right? 3 first-rounders. I know, what's his name? Ojabo went second because of the injury. But Stetson Bennett did beat him, and that Georgia team did beat him. They crushed Michigan. And I just look at that. I can't comprehend how Jim Harbaugh was so damn good in the postseason in the NFL and has been so bad at Michigan. They beat Alabama, win the national championship. All that is forgotten. You got to spy. You got to contain him. You just can't let him break off 40, 50-yard runs. He's got 12 rushing touchdowns. 8 of those 12-yard touchdowns are from outside of 5 yards. So it's not just all sneaks. He breaks contain in passing plays, and he hits the hole, goes up to the end zone when the teams are least expecting it. How about the third quarter? Michigan has dominated the third quarter, went the first 10 games of the season without giving up a point in the third quarter. Alabama's a hell of a third quarter team too, right? It's one thing I did not know about them until I started looking at what they've done this year. They're a better third quarter team than they are a fourth quarter team. So whoever wins the third quarter, whoever comes out of that halftime, I think is going to have a real advantage in this game. Let me continue on this in a second, but I'll ask you guys this question. Predict the score. I'm sticking with my prediction. 24-17, Michigan wins this game. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments or the live chat. 24-17 is my prediction for this game. I don't know how you guys are feeling on this one. I think Michigan's going to get some points we're not expecting it, whether it's a pick six or a touchdown on special teams, and Alabama's going to really struggle to score, especially inside the red zone against this Michigan football defense. So who wins the third quarter is really just going to be about coaching, about preparation, and sometimes who wants it more, right? Michigan people would say, oh, they dominated so much in this third quarter last year. This year it was all Connor Stallions. Bull crap. They adjust well. This coaching staff knows how to coach together, but they're going up against Nick Saban and the best coaching staff maybe of all time. Not staff of all time. If Nick Saban's in the staff, it's the best staff of all time. That's as much as it is. So this is going to be a testament to Jim Harbaugh, his preparation. What does he hold back in the second quarter, in the first quarter that he wants to go to, that he catches Alabama off guard? Because it would be great to go into that fourth quarter with a 7 or 10 or 14-point win or lead over Alabama. Now, I'd be nervous as hell because just think about it. Michigan's up 10 points in the fourth quarter. How nervous you're going to be in the fourth quarter. That Alabama's to score a touchdown, get the ball back, score a touchdown, win the game. I mean, I'm getting chills thinking about how nervous and anxious I would be in the stadium at that time. But I certainly would take that every day and 2 times on January 1st, twice on January 1st, over being down, 27-7 to Georgia or something like that, like you were last year. Or hell, I just realized this, Jack. I was unfortunately watching some highlights of the TCU game a couple days ago. I mean, after that second pick six, there's only like 4 minutes left in the third quarter or something like that. Like Michigan was down 18 points with like 18 minutes left in the game. Like that's how crazy, because a couple plays go right in the fourth quarter. I think Michigan could have pulled off the comeback against TCU. I'd much rather be up 10 than down 10, or hell, even 18 or more against Georgia like Michigan has the last 2 years. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. We need one more subscriber, Jack. We not got it since we went live. Okay, that's fine. Maybe we'll update it here and coming up. youtube.com/Michigan TV. We're putting up content all through this holiday weekend. I'll do another original show or two either Friday, Monday, or Tuesday or so, and we'll be live again Wednesday next week. Then I'll do some content from out in California, the little hotel room content. But I think you'll enjoy anything that comes up, recruiting, Harbaugh contract, or otherwise. Remember, Christmas Day, Harbaugh contract. Make sure you guys subscribe, youtube.com/Michigan TV. How about some unsung heroes? Who's going to step up? It's one of the things with talking with Chris, our Alabama guy, who was in the live chat here before, that I think is awesome about Alabama as a program is in their championship runs over 15 years, typically they always have an unsung hero. Who was that one, the tight end the one year who ended up being a pretty good player? O.J. Howard, right? Just exploded against Clemson. It really had done nothing so far that year, was an All-American the next year. How about Devontae Smith, right? True freshman, catches a pass, like the number 5 wide receiver, catches a touchdown pass from true freshman to Tagovailoa against Georgia in overtime when it was 2nd and 26. Right, 3 years after that, he wins the Heisman's All-American top 10 pick in the NFL draft. Who's going to be the unsung hero for Michigan? You guys may have seen this before, but I've identified these 3 guys. Diamond Edwards and Samaj Morgan, right? They're backups, right? Technical backups. Ernest Hausman might get starter snaps in this one. I think Hausman's a guy that they are going to rely on to get in Jalen Milroe's face, or fake like he's getting in his face, and maybe drop back and just spy him. Maybe have multiple responsibilities, cover a wide receiver, a running back coming out of the backfield. If he doesn't, then if the running back stays to pass protect, then you are having your secondary responsibility on Jalen Milroe. So we'll see how it shakes out. Samaj Morgan, Ernest Hausman, Diamond Edwards. One of those guys, in my opinion, has to step up to be one of the players of the game for Michigan. And this team will be walking out of the Rose Bowl 7 days later playing for a national championship against the winner of the Texas against Washington college football playoff semifinal, which ironically will play later that night. Not because it's a better game, because the Rose Bowl demands they play at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 Central. So let me know what your score predictions are one more time. 24-17 is my score prediction. Let me know in the comments and in the live chat. So I'll see you guys next time. Go Blue. All right, 5 segments in, 5 segments down, 3.5 hours of Michigan Football Report. It has been a live one. It has been crazy. It's been fun. I had fun, Jack. How about you? Exciting show.
Absolutely great. I'm ready. I am. We've had a few week hiatus of Michigan football, so I'm ready for this game.
Yeah.
I'm pumped. Like Alabama scares me a little bit. I think they would scare anyone. They're like the big bad wolf, but I'm ready. I'm ready to watch some football. I'm pumped.
Zaire says not really unsung, but I think the Dons become unsung, right? I thought he was going to be a Heisman Trophy finalist going into this year, right? I mean, I was so pumped up about what he did to Ohio State and Purdue last year, but 3 catches for 50 yards, 75 rushing yards. That's what Zaire says. 2 touchdowns. If that happens, the Don he goes my number 1 player in the history of Michigan football at that point. Right now, honestly, for me, I think it's actually J.J. McCarthy at this point. Up there with, Charles Woodson, number 1. McCarthy and Braylon tied for number 2. And then I think probably Hassan Haskins and the Don like 4 and 5 at this point. Lane Walker says 31-20 Alabama over Michigan. Lane Walker, I don't know about this one. 34-17 is the best defense Alabama has seen, in my opinion. Alabama needed a miracle. That's what people forget about. They need a miracle to beat Auburn, who stinks, who lost to New Mexico State by 21. Rick says 34-21 Michigan. The Vic says 31-24 Michigan. Let's see. Let me take some more comments here as you're about to sign off. Will the Mammoth package neutralize the edge advantage? I mean, that's what it needs to be. Which Mammoth catches passes, says Mark Majkowski. That'd be the greatest wrinkle, right? It's like the Don pass against Iowa. A year later, you've got the Clell Mullings jump pass. Then you've got the Don pass against Ohio State. What about a J.J. McCarthy trying to read option run, stop before the throw, and then Trente Jones goes out for a pass, right? The tackle eligible in that Mammoth package will be a go for the win, play to win, coach to win move for Jim Harbaugh and the Sharon Moore offense. See about QB sneaks, right? Especially the goal line. You know what the thing I hate most about football? Not just Michigan when they do it, which they've done it many times. They did it with Josh Gass all the time. I hate, Jack, on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, when you snap the ball back 15 to 18 feet, 5 to 6 yards back, to just run the ball forward 20 feet, right? Like it's 4th and 1, 4th and goal from the 1. We're going to snap the ball back to the 6.5 and hand it off, or quarterback sneak. So I got to run 19 feet to gain 3 feet. It's never made sense to me. Like, if you can't get that push, I guess it is.
It's completely counterintuitive. Like, you're giving the defensive line and everyone that's huddled up on the defense time to rush through the gaps and stop the run. Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, it works at a high rate, but I just hate it. I think I would bet if you were someone to pull all the data, maybe ChatGPT could do this, of, QB snaps in the shotgun on 3rd and 4th and 1 versus under center. I would just think it's such a higher percentage of under center, but what do I know? If you guys have yet to do so, subscribe to the channel. Trente Jones would be a better pass catcher than Henderson. I don't know who would be a better pass catcher at that the tackle position, guard position if Michigan were to roll it out. I miss Zach. Who's Zach? Zach Zinter. It's Z-A-K. That's why he threw me off for a second. So Steve, yeah, I'll miss him. Be great to have him. But I'll tell you what, I love the resiliency of Michigan. He went down. All right. Next play, the whole stadium started chanting, "Let's go, Zach." He went off the field, give a thumbs up. Next play, touchdown. Blake Corum. It was amazing. It was chilling. It was phenomenal. CTA France, I believe, blew Michigan Wolverine 31-28 Alabama, last-minute field goal. That would be a brutal one, CTA. Hope that you are wrong. Zaire says 37-33 Michigan. Manatee Dave, go blue. All right, let's end it there. Appreciate everyone who has watched it. The full 3 hours, 29 minutes, Jack. We're going to wait until there. It says 3:30 there. So 3 hours and 30 minutes of the Michigan Football Report. For Jack Lautaret, a.k.a. Young Harbaugh, we will see you guys live next Wednesday again. And then, hey, 12 days, Michigan, Alabama. I cannot wait. Till then, go blue.